All right, so I see Yossi, Daniel Bolton, Shaheem. Are you here? No, not yet. Oh, he's here.
One gold, one silver, same size, same everything, and I really like this.
Okay. Ms. Mercedes, you here? Aubrey, she here with us today? No. Okay. Racing, I saw you. Right? Didn't I see Racing? Maybe he'll join later. Okay. Mallory, there you go. No Austin. Is Hannah, you there? James, where's James? Didn't I saw you earlier?
I heard his voice, and I tried to chat with him for a second. He's got to be here somewhere, Chef.
Oh, there's Austin. Okay.
I'm here, Chef.
All right. No Tia? No Tia. Okay.
I think my video is frozen, so I'm gonna have to leave and come back real quick.
All right. I know Nick texted me he's going to be out. Daniel Rodriguez, I don't see him. I know he was sick yesterday. He wasn't feeling well.
But he toughed it out.
Yeah, he did. Oh, there he goes. Okay.
He's here.
Still toughing it out. Caitlin, you're back. Awesome. Thank you. Christian, always. And Cam, got it. So we got Nick, Tia, Raceling, and Aubrey, right?
Oh, you guys haven't seen Nicholas or Tia or Raceland and Aubrey?
Okay. Oh, I know Nick texted me. He's going to be out. He's got a meeting at his work, mandatory meeting or something like that. So he's going to be out. Okay. All right. If you see them pop in later, just let them know that I got to go back in and make sure that their attendance is on point. Okay. So, question about the menus. What do you guys think about your homework?
I don't know, how'd you like it?
I'm still looking at it. We're still going over the menus one by one. Okay. So let's go over them real quick. Right, Chef Gary?
Yeah.
I know Chef Gary's got some notes here. Okay.
Okay, well, I've got them electronically. I didn't write anything down electronic, and I can share the ones I have. I did share them with the folks that turned them in, though. So I don't know if it's right to share them, talk to everybody about it. Like, hey, James, your menu is the worst thing I ever saw. I mean, I don't know about that. But, you know, we can discuss it in the right way, and just people learn from the ideas that are bounced back and forth and stuff.
Constructive criticism.
That's how you really feel?
Okay.
Chef.
All right, here we go. First one up on the screen. Okay.
Dirty rice wontons.
Yes. Okay. So Ms. Caleb, now this one, omit the number 5 and just type it out. Just type it out. 5. Wontons filled with, instead of house made, what about jasmine, basmati? Maybe you want to put the kind of rice you're using for the dirty rice. Okay. So 5 wontons filled with jasmine, dirty rice, pilaf, fried golden brown. Okay, get rid of the until, and get rid of the and, comma, serve with remoulade and chimichurri dipping sauces. Okay. Next one down, oysters from the half shell. Okay. I think I'll get rid of the raw rice, Chef Gary.
Get rid of the raw?
Yeah.
The word, you mean?
Yeah. What do you think? I haven't seen your notes yet.
Well, I didn't make any notes on this one yet. Oh yeah, I did make some notes on that, but as far as I'm concerned, people are still eating raw oysters, right?
Yep.
So I don't think it's wrong to say raw. I think you have to have that little menu flag that says, hey, be aware that there's risk when you eat raw foods and so forth.
Yeah, I just got to put the disclaimer. That's right. So you can't put raw on the menu. Half a dozen. So you can write out half and then dozen raw oysters on the half shell. Now, instead of writing down from the Gulf, maybe half a dozen raw oysters or half a dozen raw Gulf oysters. or maybe you want to go a little bit upscale. Pei Wei, Prince Edward Island, Washington. Maybe do a little bit of research on where you want to buy the oysters because it's 1,000 oysters, and the best place to take a look at what kind of oysters we have in the world is the Oyster Park. It's in Grand Central Station in New York. It's closed now, but their menu is expansive on oysters. You can whatever oyster you can think of, they have it on the menu. I did have a copy of the menu. I don't now, but I do have a list of their oysters in my one of my regional class slides. Anyways, write down the name of the oyster, where you're getting it from. Serve with garlic bread, horseradish, lemon, cocktail sauce, and tartar sauce. That's good. Just kind of reward a little bit. Black-eyed pea cakes. What was your thought on that one, Chef Gary?
I liked it. I think that I saw that there, Kat has Kat, you have an offer of making this hummus. Sorry, making it vegan by going with the jalapeno hummus. And so that'll be instead of the sour cream because the sour cream has the dairy product in it. Is that the thought behind it?
Yeah, I did. I went back and I looked at your note on that, and I don't know why I didn't think about the black-eyed peas and like the chickpeas going into the hummus, and I think the avocado would be a much better idea.
Oh, I didn't think of that myself. That's something I didn't catch. Peas plus peas. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. So anyway, that's a great example of just how we think when we do menus. We can dream up cool ideas and they sound really great, and then later we come back and have a second look, or somebody else has a look, and then, oh, I didn't think of that. Right. So the menu that's written one time and banged out real quick, that's a hell of a skill for somebody who has to write a menu at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock and be serving at 6.
Yeah.
But when you're writing something that's, and it's an important skill too, but when you're writing something you're going to live with for a few weeks or a few months, that's that great lesson there in just looking and making sure, having somebody else look at it and so forth. I like the item though, however. And I was thinking that those pastel green colors of the jalapeno cream or the pureed avocado, even if you just wanted to call it guacamole, maybe not. It just sounds nice to me. Pretty damn nice.
So seasoned black-eyed peas, get rid of combined with Granny Mae's amusement park cornbread. What else? Three cakes. Pan-fried, seared with jalapeno sour cream, can be made vegan with jalapeno hummus upon request. So you can make them strict vegan and just put a little vegan mic at the bottom. So yeah, if it's gonna be pan-fried, black-eyed peas cake fritters. So that way the little hockey pucks. So yeah, there's some wiggle room to play around with and try to visualize that plate, like Chef Gary said, with the pastel colors, the avocado, on the plate, maybe a little smear, a little spoon sauce on the side. Grilled gator skewers, 6 pieces of freshly caught alligator coated in eel sauce and grilled, topped with scallions, sesame seeds, quinine sauce on the side. So with this one, how about 6 alligator tail skewers, or grilled 6 eel sauce glaze gator tail skewers grilled and topped with scallions, sesame seeds, and quinine sauce, and some fresh caught alligator.
Kat, what's eel sauce?
Eel sauce is soy sauce, mirin, and sugar reduced down.
Does that have anything to do with the word eel? Or is that eel a whole different word there?
I mean, the eel is just kind of standing on its own as far as the wording goes. I just thought the sweetness would pair well with the alligator tails, kind of like a play on Korean sticky ribs in a way.
Okay, well, I'm not knocking it. Just understand that I'm not knocking it, but I'm just curious about where the word eel comes from in this context.
It comes from.
I wondered that myself. Yeah.
Sorry.
I wondered that myself after working in a sushi bar when I found out that there was actually no eel product in the sauce itself. I guess just because it accompanies.
Okay, so there's folks that'll know what that is. I'm just the only one that doesn't know what that stuff is.
Yeah, it's from when you make sushi. It doesn't have nothing to do with the eel. It's just a sauce that is nicknamed after the eel, but there's no eel involved.
Right on.
So yeah, a little bit of wording on that one. Crawfish cakes, and again, type in 3. Cajun crawfish cakes, fried golden brown, seasoned with butter arugula. toss lemon olive oil, served with red pepper coulis. So not bad. It's a good practice. It's definitely good practice. Good notes. And again, once you have it typed, take a look at it, walk away, come back, and look at it again, and maybe have somebody, read it for you. So that way, you can either have better understanding, visual aspect, and how to word a little bit better. Okay. Because sometimes when you create those menus, you're gonna have to pay for more of per letter when you submit those menus on somebody to go ahead and print them for you. All right, let's go to the next one. I don't know who's this. Let's find out. I think it's this one right here. Is it? Right, here you go.
Daniel Bolton.
So you went and did a lot more than just 5, which is great. You can keep that and then expand on it and tighten it down for the final project. So you have the appetizers, fried plantains, $4.50. Get rid of the $sign. Sweet fried plantains, refried beans, and Honduran cream. Honduran or Honduran? Is Honduran, like HONDURAN sauce or cream sauce. Okay. And what's in the Honduran cream sauce? Maybe I have to spell it out and let people know. Baleadas, $3.50 is savory handmade flour tortilla, refry, again, Honduran, cheese and cream. Honduran, again, the word Honduran tamales, made from scratch, steamed chicken tamale with potatoes, rice, peas wrapped in a banana leaf. So homemade, from scratch, chicken tamales, potato, rice, peas wrapped in a banana leaf.
Chef?
Yes.
I don't think we're looking at the same thing.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah, I'm
No.
looking at Daniel Bolton's, and then you're reading mine out, Chef.
Yeah, we're not looking at the same thing.
Yeah, Chef, you got Daniel Bolton's up right now.
All right, there we go.
Awesome.
Okay, there you
Wrong
go.
menu, there it is. Pastelitos, crunchy fried corn masa, turnover stuffed with ground beef, potatoes and rice, chicken salad tostada, $5. Fried corn tortillas, tasty homemade shredded chicken salad, corn, peas, and carrots. So not bad. It just on the spelling on Honduran. Okay, Honduran, and maybe emphasize a little bit what's Honduran cream. What else? Pastelitos, creamy fried corn masa, turnover stuffed with ground beef. Is the ground beef seasoned? What does it have in it? Fried corn tortilla, the tostada. Okay, tasty homemade shredded chicken. That's good. So not bad. Just a little bit of tweaking here and there. Okay.
Yossi, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
So, this is your language, your culture, right? This is your home.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you have that word, Honduran tamale, maybe you have that spelled right.
Honduran? You mean Honduran?
Honduran.
I'm saying maybe Yossi knows something we don't know. Maybe it's spelled right.
Yeah, well, the right way I was trying to spell it Honduran, I guess, in like, how it's spelled like in English, but I can just put Honduras, which is, it is spelled differently than that.
Right. Well, I'm just saying in English, I know we would write Honduran, Honduran, but
Honduran, yeah.
it might be in that language there, it might be, I would not know how to spell it.
Honduran, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the sound of it. It sounds cheap to me. I mean, if it's delicious food and it's fresh and it's real, nobody gets fresh, real, beautiful food for $5 unless it's just a couple bites, Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. It's definitely a good start. Again, we're going to run to tweak a couple of items here. Take a look at the spelling of some words, and even when you have like the 450 here, right?
Yep.
Not to hide it, but maybe you want to put it down here after the Honduran cream dot, and then put it all the way to the right hand side.
Okay.
Okay. Not to hide it, but let them read first the fried plantains, the ingredients, and then at the end the price. Because if you hit them with the price up on top, psychological, oh no, it's too expensive, I don't want to buy that, and they'll go to the next one. So we
Okay.
kind of Not hide it, but put it somewhere else.
Dates for you.
They will not be discouraged to take a look at, you know, the menu and then read it, and then make the decision based upon what their mind's reading and what they like want to taste. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So not bad. All right. I guess we have now.
It's gonna primarily be at the.
Who we have?
I'm
Daniels.
looking at, I got James up right now, but that might not be the next one for you, Chef.
Danny Bees.
Is it?
Who you got up, Chef?
James?
Well, James is multiplayer, right?
Right.
Well, can you share that, Chef?
Hold on, which one? Whichever one he was just on was mine.
What's on the screen right now, guys?
That's
the
mine.
shrimp and crab stuffed ravioli.
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh, it's okay. All right, got it. Here we go.
You
Okay.
want more, babe?
All right. So, Cameron, that's yours, right?
No, the one that's on the screen now is mine.
Oh, okay. That's it. So this is yours, right? All right. So Ms. Tia, uncultured, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black and white bites, $10 vegan. Okay, again, use little icon, put it right next to the bottom. Deep fried organic black beans, potatoes, onions, bell peppers, and avocado. Served with a house-made sriracha ranch dip. Okay, made with organic rice flour. Okay, so maybe you want to put the vegan down at the bottom, little icon,
Okay.
and possibly the same price right next to the bottom. Okay, not hiding, but you know, somewhere where they can't see it. It's not going to be the first thing they see. Okay, sticky orange chicken wings, free-range chicken wings tossed in a sticky orange sauce. Topped with sesame seeds, served with celery and carrots with a house-made wasabi ranch. Okay.
Right.
Hot Cheeto crusted mozzarella bites, organic raw house-made mozzarella cheese. Okay. Crushed with flaming hot Cheetos, served with house-made ranch dipping sauce. Okay. So organic, raw, house-made. The word raw, probably just leave it out. Do organic, house-made mozzarella cheese. Okay.
Okay.
So I got
And
go ahead.
And just with the Cheetos, I know maybe you mix them in with panko breadcrumbs, because if you only use Cheetos, they might get soggy, they might not stick to the mozzarella, or they might fall off in the frying. So reinforce them with a little bit of panko breadcrumbs. Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my things, the comments that I made when I was reading this before class were, Chef Miguel, you have it up there, and it's smallish, but I think I can read it. I basically said, describe the carrots and celery. There might be an awesome cut that gives it a beautiful look or a sound or a shape. So, you know, you've heard of like a carrot tagliatelle or the celery nest or something like that, where you cut something super fine, or even the julienne words and kind of old classical cuts words and stuff like that. But if you just say carrots and celery, it might sound like, you know, carrot and celery sticks at grandma's house, you know? So in other words, use words that make that stuff sound like it's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Also, I'm saying that if you're going to capitalize flaming and hot, then should you capitalize Cheetos too?
Okay. I didn't even notice that I did that, but okay.
Yeah, that's just the kind of thing that's why you need me, right? I'm just saying that, like, if you didn't have me or Chef Miguel and you're writing menus, you'd put it away and come back and look at it yourself, or you'd have somebody else look. You just want to catch stuff like that. And also, I asked you what kind of peppers are used in the roasted peppers. My question could be, hey, they could be mild or sweet or screaming painful hot. We don't know. You just saying peppers.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, and a lot of the word or the name of food is beautiful, or it's beautiful to somebody who knows it. So if you say, Sweet Baby Bells, or if you say, Chipotle, or if you say pasilla, or whatever it is, and maybe it's a New Mexico, maybe it's a Hatch, New Mexico chile.
Okay.
But I think just saying peppers leaves me wondering if I'm the guy sitting down thinking about ordering it.
Of course.
And overall, I thought it looked pretty good. I like the font, although I think it's a little small. You could maybe go to a little bit bigger font. Guy with my eyes is going to have a little struggle with that at 7 p.m. in a restaurant.
Yeah, I had to squint a little bit when I first opened it. So yeah, a little bit bigger font.
Okay.
Okay.
But otherwise, I think it's a good step.
All right.
Thank you.
Next one, calamari, right? Fried and tossed with Italian herb season, served with a creamy chipotle dipping sauce. Next one is crab stuffed mushrooms, large white mushroom stuffed with a snow crab and cream cheese mix. Mixtures, shrimp ceviche, fresh lime juice, cilantro, fine chopped serrano peppers, avocado toast, whole grain toast, topped with fresh avocado spread, and a poached egg. Fried tofu, crispy pan fried tofu, served with a sweet and savory peanut sauce. So the first one, calamari, fried and tossed with Italian herb seasonings. So golden brown fried calamari, tossed with Italian herb seasonings, and then served with a creamy chipotle dipping sauce. Okay. Crab stuffed mushrooms. Again, top of the word, the number 4, type it out, 4, F-O-U-R, large white mushrooms. So what kind of mushrooms are you using? Are you using button mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, cremini? You know.
I put white mushrooms. I don't know. I guess.
So if you put like portobello mushrooms or cremini, you can up the price. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mushroom stuffed with snow crab and cream cheese mixture. Okay. And then what? How are they? Are they cooked? Are they cold? Are they breaded and fried? Are they roasted? How are they served? Okay. So maybe that one there too. So a little bit of wiggle room there to explain and expand. Shrimp ceviche with fresh lime juice, cilantro, finely chopped serrano peppers. Okay. A little bit more oomph on the description. You want to be able to sell it. It's kind of plain Jane. Maybe heirloom tomatoes, Bermuda onions, some of the keywords. Yes.
We're not seeing the menu, not the correct one anyway, if you're on to another one. I'm sorry. Are you still on the shrimp ceviche?
Correct.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
That's the one on the screen, right? Okay. So shrimp ceviche, all right? So again, emphasize and use keywords like heirloom, Bermuda, organic cilantro, hot serrano peppers if they're in season, avocado toast, whole grain toast, topped with fresh avocado spread and a poached egg. Okay. Is the avocado mixed with something else different? Maybe seasonings, maybe some, is it Hass or what kind of avocado is it? And a poached egg. Farm fresh egg, quail egg, duck egg, what kind of egg are you using? Increase the price. Okay. What else? Fried tofu, crispy pan fried tofu, served with savory peanut sauce. Okay. Is it firm tofu, soft tofu? Okay. Is it breaded with panko breadcrumbs? You know, what is it mixed with? So there's some opportunities there, okay, to emphasize on the product and make it more sellable. Make that cash money.
A couple of things here. First of all, whose menu are we looking at here?
It's mine, Chef.
Christian.
Okay, Christian. One thing is, a couple of you guys are sending these. When I look at it on the docs document, I don't see that it's named with your name up in the tab, right? And I want to make sure everybody's thinking about that, because it just makes it a lot easier to navigate through that stuff and find stuff and all that. Second thing is, Christian, you got 3 out of these things. 3 out of these 5 things are fried. I think maybe it's okay. I would say though that you're absolutely at the limit of how much you would fry in one menu group. You know, like if you had all 5 of them fried, I'd be saying, oh, you can't do that. With 3 of them fried, I'm saying, okay, that's plenty. You know. And in the same breath, I have to tell you, I know, and you guys know, fried appetizers are very common in restaurants, aren't they? Why is that? Well, you can prep them in advance and just fry when the time comes. It's easy. You can put out a lot of them fast. It's pretty cheap to do. People like it. They like the texture. It sells drinks. There's a lot to love there. But as a conscientious chef, I'm trying to, for you to be a conscientious chef, I'm just trying to get in your head so that in 5 years, you got little Chef Gary Worm inside your brain saying, man, do you have to have everything? Yeah, that's all I gotta say on it.
Yeah.
Balance, right? Always have things balanced in your menus. Yeah.
One last thing on that one, even though you got, what is it, 2 fried items, calamari, and then the fried tofu, if somebody's street vegan, they're not going to be able to be okay with you frying the tofu in the same oil as the fried calamari. Just one of those things. Remember the Impossible Burger a while ago, a few months ago?
The calamari is a deep fried thing, but the tofu is a pan fried thing. I don't know.
That's right.
There
Okay.
you go. They're not going to conflict. That's fine.
Yeah, they're totally different. That's fine. Okay.
Yep. Good.
All right. Who's next?
One you got up right now is Cameron, chef.
Cameron. Okay. Shrimp and crab stuffed ravioli. 5 shrimp and jumbo lamb crab meat ravioli filled with herb infused ricotta cheese. Sweet chili cream sauce. Okay. I'm gonna get back on that one. It looks good. A steak bruschetta, $12.99. Delicious medium rare sirloin sliced on top of a crispy Italian bread with goat cheese spread, tomato cruda, and balsamic reduction. Okay. Stuffed mushrooms. Huge mushroom caps. Again, what kind of mushrooms are you using? Portobellas. What mushrooms are you trying to sell? Okay. Stuffed with roasted garlic, cream cheese, hand dipped batter, and fried to golden brown, served with a spicy chipotle ranch. Okay. Braised pork belly, honey marinated pork belly braised in red wine jus, seared in all sides, served with the fresh arugula citrus salad. Okay. What else comes with it? Maybe organic radishes, onions, cherry tomatoes. How is it going to be served? Is it just arugula with pork belly? What are the condiments that are going to go on top? Okay. Oyster Rockefeller, aired fresh Rappahannock oysters filled with creamy bacon, spinach, spread top with white truffle breadcrumbs, then toasted with the golden brown. Okay. Be careful again with truffles, just like Chef Gary was talking about truffles, because if you want to use truffles, don't mix them in the breadcrumbs and fry them. You want to use truffles as a functional garnish on top. If you're using fresh truffles, you want to be able to emphasize and charge money for the truffles that you're using. Okay. The first one, shrimp and crab stuffed ravioli. You got 2 high-dollar items, shrimp and crab. Those are expensive items. So we'll think about that beforehand, because you got 2 items that could easily spoil really fast in your kitchen, and they're high-dollar items. So maybe you want to use one instead of the other one, okay? Just to be on the safe side. If you're going to use crab in the menu, or you can use it, you're going to use shrimp on your menu too, but you're only using crab on this dish, maybe you want to just keep it to shrimp, okay? That one's going to be a little bit higher food cost on that one.
The other thing you can do is, if you're going to have an item that's kind of high dollar like that, and can spoil easily and so forth, is make sure, as we discussed a day or two ago, right, Chef? We make sure we have a couple other menu items that will use that on a steady basis. And that way, instead, like if you happen to be at a slow time of year, or even when your kind of evening business is slow, you might still be going through enough crab that it's coming out nice and sweet and it's fresh, and you're not doubtful about how nice and fresh and sweet it smells and everything. It's a matter of making sure you have enough items selling that on the menu to keep it moving.
Okay. Who we got up next?
That's fine, Chef Miguel.
Okay. Danny B's grilled shrimp Barbie, sprinkled with special blend seasonings and grilled. Served with grilled Asian bread. You got grilled twice.
Artisan bread, Chef.
Garlic bread, butter, fresh tomato basil, fresh crafted mozzarella cheese. You got fresh twice too. So a little bit of rewarding on that one. Okay, sprinkled with special blend of seasonings. So grill first, grill and sprinkle with the special blend seasonings, or house-made or family recipe seasonings.
Okay.
Serve with toasted artisan bread. You can even grill it, but use the word toasted. You didn't grill twice. Okay, use the word twice.
That's a great suggestion there, Chef. Also, in the same way where we say fresh tomato basil and freshly crafted mozzarella, you could leave one of those fresh words in there, like you could say, aromatic tomato basil and freshly crafted mozzarella, or you could flip it, fresh tomato basil and hand stretched mozzarella, things like that, right? Just to kind of knock off when you have one word appearing twice, find a way to get around and eliminate one of them.
Yeah. So
makes sense, Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Chef.
Okay.
Danny B's wild fried rice cheese, Wisconsin breaded white cheddar bites, Italian breaded mozzarella sticks served with the Danny B's wild dipping sauce. So you have breaded twice again. Wisconsin breaded white cheddar bites, Italian breaded mozzarella.
Well, I could make an easy suggestion on that, Chef, and Daniel also. We could just say Wisconsin breaded white cheddar and Italian and Italian style mozzarella sticks, and just take out one of the breaded words. Mm-hmm. They're both breaded. You probably could find a way to say that word only one time.
Okay.
Lemon zooks, lightly fried zucchini slices, topped with lemon pepper, parmesan, paprika, and served with a smoking poblano ranch dipping sauce. Only thing with that one, if you're gonna use the capital letter for parmesan, I would suggest using capital letters for fried zucchini slices, top, lemon, pepper, paprika, smoking poblano ranch dipping, and then sauce. Okay, and I'll show you guys a couple of samples of how to use the capital words, letters on the first words. Okay.
Long story short, just take off the capital letter on Parmesan.
Right. Well, you can, because it's got to have a capital letter. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The Asian Philly. Asian Philly. 2 eggs, crispy egg rolls, eggs twice, filled with a delicious Philly cheesesteak filling with a sweet and spicy cream cheese sauce to dip as much as you like. Okay. So 2 eggs.
Also, Daniel, boy, you're getting ready to get beat up here, aren't you? Don't take this wrong. You have a very nice menu here, but you're saying filled with delicious Philly cheesesteak filling. So you might just say 2 crispy egg rolls, comma, delicious Philly cheesesteak filling, rather than filled with. Take out a couple words. You don't say filled and filling twice in the same sentence that way. Or you could say stuffed instead of filled, like Chef Miguel had a suggestion with somebody yesterday. So you take out one of those filled or filling words.
Okay.
And
understood.
So, guys, it'll feel like we're beating you all up here, but little by little, this stuff, as you learn to think like this a little bit, it rolls off your tongue a little nicer. And not just because Chef Miguel said it or I did, but because you start getting that habit, and you're going to come up with words that'll come off of your tongue real nice, and you'll like the way it hits you when you read it later.
And then when you go to a restaurant, you'll pick up the menu and be able to read it and point out the mistakes they made too.
Yep.
The Crazy Bison Balls, baked bison meatballs, which is made with diced onions, garlic, toasted crumbs, with a choice of jalapeno ranch sauce, love tangy teriyaki sauce, and Danny B's wild dipping sauce. So baked bison meatballs, delete which is, and then comma, made with diced onions, garlic, comma after onions, we'll give her garlic toasted crumbs, and then delete the dot, with a choice of jalapeno ranch sauce, love tangy teriyaki, or Danny B's wild dipping sauce. So eliminate the first sauce word and leave it out at the end.
Okay, gotcha.
And Daniel, while we got you here on this one, I've been served like a thing that was like a soup sampler one time at Commander's Palace. And it was a gumbo, a turtle soup, and a crab and corn bisque, all in little bitty ramekins, all on one dinner plate with a fancy doily underneath. It was spectacular. And I'm reading your sauces there, and they sound delicious. And why wouldn't they go great with those meatball things, those bison meatballs? Maybe you offer it with all 3 sauces. It costs you a little more money on the plate, but you know, you can do your math. You can know what you got to charge for that. And then
okay, Chef.
If you decided to offer a larger size, I mean, I think it'd probably sell too, because, oh man, now hey, we got 8 meatballs instead of 5. We got 3 sauces. That's worth some money. We can enjoy this stuff different ways. Just a thought, you know,
Yeah.
like a couple different sauces might be more exciting than just choosing one of them.
Understood, Chef.
Yep.
Okay. So who else we got now?
Did we look at Did we look at Cam's? Yes. Did we look at Mercedes? Yes. No.
Not yet. This is yours, right, Ms. Mercedes?
I can't see it.
There's nothing up, Chef.
It just shows the Zoom launch screen.
Yeah.
All right. Let me try again.
No, that is not mine.
Okay. Who's this? The Shrimp Shack menu.
That's mine, Chef.
Oh, Shaheem's okay. So mini shrimp and sweet potato kebabs. Roasted sweet potatoes, marinated shrimp combined for delicious party starter, especially if you thread them onto skewers and pop them into the grill, 8 out of 9. So first one, reword a little bit. Roasted sweet potatoes, comma, marinated shrimp, combined for a delicious party starter. Might want to give her that. Roasted sweet potatoes, comma, marinated shrimp for a delicious party starter, comma.
What if you said something like roasted sweet potatoes, comma, marinated shrimp, threaded, comma, skewered, grilled, something like that. And then it gives you some extra, gives you fewer words, and you have a chance to use some words that make the marinade sound awesome. Like what's in the marinade? Maybe you got a beautiful marinade. You want to pop one of the words from your marinade into the description somehow, Shaheem. It's an idea, right?
Right.
Roasted potatoes, marinated shrimp.
Grilled seasonal shrimp, marinated using balsamic vinegar, lemon juice, Italian dressing, boosts the flavor of this tender shrimp. Okay. So an Italian dressing infuses the flavor of, infusing the flavor of the tender shrimp. Okay. Shrimp and goat cheese stuffed mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, get dressed up for the holidays. We're taking a mixture of goat cheese, shrimp, and ginger, fresh shrimp. Okay.
I kind of like the sound of that, dressed up for the holidays. It sounds fun.
I will leave it like that. That's good. Shrimp double eggs. You got shrimp times 2, 3 times. Okay.
4.
Buffoni
It's the
Farm
Shrimp Shack.
Yes.
You're missing another rule here.
4 times, Chef, but it is a Shrimp Shack. That's right.
Bubba shrimp.
Ladies, 5,000.
Y'all can't say that. Y'all didn't tell Bubba Gump that.
Yeah, exactly right. Buffoni farm eggs, bacon lardon, and crispy shallots. Dozen to $14.99. Okay. Strawberry sorbet. No shrimp on this one. Hidden Valley Fruit Farm strawberry crumb, and cream. How about instead of cream, do chantilly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like, it kind of sounds a little bit like a upside down or like a rethought strawberry shortcake, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty refreshing to me.
It is, yeah. I would just tend it to chantilly. Okay, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is yours, right?
There we go. There's Mercedes at last.
All right.
Yes, Chef.
You're about to pop a gasket over here, Chef. I can see. Just kidding. I'll be right back.
Buffalo chicken wings, $12. Tender cauliflower drizzle in our delectable house-made buffalo sauce. Topped with fresh green onions. So vegan, right?
Yes, all vegan.
Okay. Tender cauliflower. Okay. Drizzle with our delectable house-made buffalo sauce, topped with fresh green onions. Okay. $12. Deep fried avocado. Fresh avocado, dredged in our mouth-watering beer batter, served with our Chipotle ranch sauce. Homemade Chipotle ranch sauce.
It should say yes.
Homemade, yeah, homemade.
House-made, homemade,
Mhm.
whichever.
To
And
put-
Chef Gary said for this one that I mentioned the batter, but I didn't mention frying it. So I suppose I should put that in there somewhere.
Yeah, fried to golden brown.
You don't have to, but I mean, I can see an image of those shrimp going through the batter, like the cook grabbing it and dragging it through the batter, and it's getting a nice coat on it. But then my mind wants to see the crispy golden crust on all done too, right?
Just
Yeah, chef.
it does say, if you're talking about the deep fried avocado, it does say deep fried in the name. So
Right,
I don't know. I don't know if it would be redundant to have fried again.
Well,
I'm taking notes. Just let me know what works best.
well, it's okay. Look, so it does say in the word that it's already fried, in the menu name that it's already fried. So James, you might be right there. That would make it really sad if James was right on this one.
Yes, 1 point for James.
This is what, guys, this is what this stuff is. When you're an effective chef running a good kitchen, you'll make mistakes and you'll do some great stuff. And when you're writing the menu, you're going to sit in the office probably over a cup of coffee and haggle this junk out one day between breakfast and lunch or something. Oh, we can't even finish. We got to get out there. Lunch is happening pretty quick here. You know, and you have to come back to it and you work on it. But what happens is you sit down and argue with it and or argue over it. And I don't mean argue in a bad way, but just kind of haggle it out, you know. And if you just write something, a lot of times even you won't like it very much a month later. But if you write something, come back to it, look at it again, get your work buddies to tell you what they think about it. And by the way, you want your work buddies to tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear. You're going to write beautiful menus. It doesn't happen in 1 10-minute session. It does happen in a couple hours or so. We come up with beautiful stuff. It'll still sound good later.
Something both chefs have mentioned to me over my menu, Mercedes, also, is what kind of beer are you using?
Yeah.
Or what kind of booze?
Okay, I'll put that in. I'll finagle that in somehow.
China Dog, I don't know, whatever beer you want to use for that one.
So, you know, it is true that some beers like a really dark ale or IPA or a Lone Star Light or all these different beers, they'll have a very different flavor. Like a Lone Star Light, is effective as a leavener in the batter, and you can kind of smell beer, but it won't make a lot of color and it won't have that deep, rich, strong beer flavor.
You
right?
said this is an IPA?
So
a dark ale versus an IPA versus a Lone Star versus a Miller Lite, different things. I'm saying they're all gonna be a little different. So the smart cook is gonna be looking for a beer that has the right sound to the customer and seems to have the right kind of flavor and color. You know, let's face it, some strong dark beers are really stinky and they might not be great for some fried foods, but they might be beautiful with some fried foods. So I'm trying to plant the seed in your mind as a chef that
Yes, chef.
I can choose the one that's gonna hit me right. You even have to probably try a couple out and fry them and say, that one's better and so forth, right?
As far as deep frying your vegetables, the one that I found out of the 9 dark beers that I've used, Ziegenbach gives avocados and mushrooms a really good flavor.
Which one?
Ziegenbach.
Ziegenbach, huh?
Ziegenbach. Okay, send that to me, please, Tia.
Yes, I will. And then that one, if you're buying it, like if you're going to serve beer in your restaurant and you're buying it keg-wise, Ziegenbach is the cheapest. So if you get normal.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Besides, support Ziegenbach. One of my nephews works for Anheuser-Busch.
To put a veggies,
Takes back money directly to Tyler. Yeah.
To put a veggies, season with batter, deep fried and golden until light and crunchy. Serve with a non-traditional dashi. Okay. Stuffed mushrooms, that's very light. Sushi mushrooms stuffed with spinach.
Yes, dashi.
Dashi.
Non-traditional.
Non-traditional.
Yes, because I can't use the fish to, yeah.
You use kombu, vegetable stock.
If I can find it.
Kombu vegetable stock, no bonito flakes, just kombu. Succulent mushroom stuffed with spinach, roasted peppers, garlic, breadcrumbs stuffed with our house-made vegan parmesan. Okay, interesting. So that catching my attention right there. Vegan Parmesan, stuffed mushrooms. Okay, I'm with it. Spicy edamame. Supple edamame steamed and dressed in our house-made hot sauce. Okay.
You said descriptive word, chef. I didn't want to use tender twice, and there were no other really catch-worthy phrases
What?
for the edamame.
Why are you getting defensive? Nobody said.
The chef made a face. I saw it.
Mercedes.
No, I'm thinking of how to describe the house-made hot sauce.
Oh.
Is it
I'm
the
sorry.
same hot sauce as the buffalo chicken wings?
Huh?
Is it the same hot sauce as the buffalo chicken wings? Or
No,
is it
they're different. Because this hot sauce is going to be actually a miso hot sauce.
Okay.
So probably I should put miso in there somewhere.
Yes, ma'am. You should.
Yeah. So yeah, this one's going to be a miso hot sauce, whereas that is completely different.
Okay.
Maybe like miso fire hot sauce or some kind of a,
right.
You know, like I keep on saying that'll like pop up in the middle of the night. You'll sit upright and say, "Oh, there's the word I want." Right? That stuff happens.
Yeah, it's a miso hot sauce. So I'll definitely change that up.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. So that's what we're talking about, guys. I'm looking over your menus. Okay. So when we start looking at the menu, that's what we're looking at. Again, it's practice for you guys to narrow it down. Hopefully, look at it. Who else we got here? Somebody's coming late.
Hey,
Valerie's. Yes.
Did y'all get booted
For what?
from the Zoom? I just got kicked out.
No.
And then I had to reboot in.
I got kicked out yesterday. I think that just happens every once in a while.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, Zoom plays favorites.
Okay.
Huh.
Did mine ever go through in the Google Sheets?
Yes, I'm opening. I got yours. I got Raisling's, Hannah's, James, and Mallory's. All right. Let's
Some
go with,
So, Chef, well, the next part of this, I can look over and pop some feedback and some thoughts into the ones. It's kind of handy when they come as for some reason, I don't know the difference between some that I can put that little comment window and it'll be saved, or the ones that won't even give me the comment window. That's a tech thing I'm still trying to get my brain around.
Okay.
But for you guys, Daniel, Raceland, Hannah, James, Mallory, that we haven't talked on yours yet, I can look through them right now during our next piece of this class and see what there is to see and pop some comments in there. And Austin, I owe you a response on something. Oh, did I see your menu? Okay. About to look at all those right now. So yes, I know you sent it.
all right. This is a copy of the menu that I did a while ago back in 09. It's a wine dinner menu. Remember the recipe cost card that I sent you guys at the beginning of the class, week 1? That is for a July 1 dinner menu. Okay. The reason I want to share with you guys here, this is, take a look at, if you guys can see the teas. Okay. Take a look at the wording. The teas, prawns and croûte, layered cocoa powder, butter and cinnamon phyllo shell filled with phyllo shell filled with poached prawns and roasted red pepper beurre blanc sauce. Okay. Now you know what I'm talking about. You can capitalize the first word of each letter, make it more outstanding, make it more eye-catching. And even take a look at the description. This was back in 09. This was a wine dinner, okay? The attraction, it was just a sample of our hors d'oeuvres. What else? Oh, we had the wine to match it with. That was Mount Acum, 4 of a kind. The taste, raspberry baby frisée. Baby frisée and spinach in a bacon ring. Yes, in a bacon ring. Chocolate spiced pecans, raspberry, huckleberry, chocolate infused vinaigrette. This is a chocolate themed wine dinner. Every single item had chocolate in it. Temptation, chocolate mint daiquiri ice. We actually made it in the house and it was, it got you going. The feast, it was almost like a mixed grill. Cajun and cocoa powder seasoned tornadoes of beef, tenderloin with rich mole. Again, mole is the chocolate sauce. accompanied by cocoa bean and black pepper dusted scallops, chipotle sweet potato gratin. Finale was chocolate trio. Again, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Chocolate strawberry lemon tart, blueberry pot de creme in a chocolate cup, soccer tort, and cocoa creme brulee. So you can be short on your descriptions. You can utilize capital letters at the beginning of each item. And you can, like, you know, I'm looking at Raceling's menu. You utilize bolds and the font a little bit bigger on the menu items, and the description, no bold, no underlines, and then do a short description. So that was one of the wine menu dinners that we did a while ago. You know, we went further because we matched the wine with the entrees and you know, trying to sell the wine dinner. So even then, the customers will come in, grab their menu. This is their menu for them to take home. And then in the back of the menu was the wines, the logo, the picture of the wine, and a little bit of information about each wine, why it was selected to go with each item. Just a little bit extra, okay? Let me see if I can pop Racelings before we get started rolling into our lecture, okay?
Raceling's not even here, Chef.
Who's did I get?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he's here.
My bad, Raceling.
Is that it, right?
Yeah, that's mine.
Render under Caesar salad, chopped chicken, Parmesan cheese, Caesar dressing. Emphasize a little bit more. Is it free-range chicken? Is it baby organic lettuce? Is it baby romaine lettuce? What kind of Parmesan cheese is it? Is it Pecorino? Is it Romano? I mean, it's not Parmesan, but you know, again, is it a 6 months age? Caesar dressing, is it homemade? Is it house-made? You know, trying to get more into the description. Breading wings, 8-bone hot wings. Okay. What are the tossed? What are the flavor? Is any hot sauce with it? Any equipments to go? Any celery sticks, carrots, ranch dressing? How they serve? Come fly with me calamari. Thin cut, lightly fried, served with marinara sauce. Okay. So emphasize a little bit more on the calamari. The name is great. Come fly with me calamari. GI blue cheese bites. Excellent names. 5 small biscuits stuffed with blue cheese and coated with butter. Okay. 1 for my baby mushrooms. 6 baby mushrooms, garlic, cream, cheese, Parmesan, and cayenne. Are they stuffed? Are they sauteed? Are they roasted, grilled? So emphasize a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. What else do we have? It's opening it up. All right, here we go. This is Miss Hannah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can zoom a little bit more, because I don't want to squint. Here we go. Bob's Fish House, appetizers, Bob's Bread, our house-made garlic bread, toasted with fresh mozzarella cheese, served with garden wrapping tomatoes, basil and garlic, with a light drizzle balsamic reduction. Okay. What do you think, Gary? That looks good.
Chef, I wasn't looking. I was looking at another one right now.
Okay.
Let me pull it up for you real quick. Let me pull it up and say something.
Conch fritters, fresh conch batter, fried to perfection, served with house-made Caribbean and key lime sauce. Now, on certain islands, be careful because I know conch was almost illegal to fish out on California coast. I know you can buy it in the Caribbean, like Florida and what else? Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, Puerto Rico. But in certain parts of the States, it might be illegal to have conch on the menu. Just got to be careful on that one, okay?
A lot of things are illegal in California.
I know. Fresh conch batter and fried to perfection, served with the house-made.
Chef, you know how I feel about California.
I know. I feel you. Oysters on the half shell. Permaquid main oysters served. So that S is a D, served with crackers, horseradish, zesty cocktail sauce. full dozen, half dozen. Okay. Just and again on the word letter serves. Shrimp cocktail, and again spell out the number 5. Wild caught jumbo shrimp served with a glass of zesty cocktail sauce. Okay. Catch of the day ceviche. Our catch of the day marinated in lemon, lime, and orange juice. Locally grown avocados, fresh onions, tomatoes, cilantro, and salted pita chips. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Just again, just be careful on some items. Make sure they're legal, they're not illegal, so you won't get in trouble. Okay. What else? And then we got James, right? Let's see if I can pull yours, James. There we go. I can't zoom in on this one. So James has been working on his final project since about a week, 2 weeks ago. So he's actually has a gaming concept, right, Mr. James?
Yes, chef.
Okay. So his concept is multiplayer, a gaming restaurant, wings, ham batter, and fried wings.
That's just the sorry, chef. That's just the name of the appetizer menu, like multiplayer, single player, and then the desserts is called bonus level.
Okay, great concept, cool colors, and we'll be talking to James up and on here there about giving some guidance on his menu. He wants to get a jump start on it, which is great. That's awesome. So he knows our thoughts and our feelings about the menu because we already give him feedback on the menus. He's got, again, the multiplayer, wings, ham batter, and fried wings in a sauce of your choice. Sauces, he's got 3 kinds. Cara is king, medium buffalo sauce with small kick, deadly apricot, kick-ass heat with a little sweet, loco monkey, Thai peanut sauce with a jelly on the side. So half basket is $10, full basket, $16. Gamer basket 25. So he categorized them in the bottom. Okay. And then you got gamer steaks, crispy breaded fried mozzarella cheese sticks, $10. Rata tots onions, Lone Star batter fried onions, excellent. Okay. Jingy Princess poutines. Do you guys know what poutines are? Does anybody know what poutines are? Poutines.
French fries. Brown gravy and cheese curds.
Only up in what is it? Upper Midwest, right?
Detroit, Upper Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe. Yeah, Canada.
I had a student from Ohio, and she loved poutines. All right, she actually made them at school one time. Anyways, poutines, fried tossed with a thick, creamy brown gravy, cheese curds topped with cheddar cheese. Right on. Whole with roasted beef at $4 more. Gamer feast, your choice of your tossed wings, 4 onion rings, and 4 gamer sticks, $18. So you're on the right track as far as that. Just when you get further into the game, the color on your lettering tends to get lost in the yellow of the lightning bolt. Here at the bottom where it says fresh toast tossed with the thick creamy brown gravy. Okay. So you got a little play with a little bit more with the color scheme on your menu, okay? But it looks good.
Okay, thank you, chef.
Any questions, guys?
I think I'm still gonna adjust the price points a little bit on it, just because looking like actually costing this stuff out, it's a lot cheaper than I had originally imagined. So the prices and stuff like that might change.
Okay. Hold on, we got one more. I didn't get to Miss Mallory's, right? Where do you go? Right here. This is your Miss Mallory's?
So that is.
Okay. Italian bistro. You want to capitalize the word B in bistro. Okay. Appetizers. Cream of asparagus, puree asparagus and onions that have been sweated to make a smooth creamy onions. Creamy soup. I will think on using the word sweated, maybe sauteed instead. Okay.
Okay.
And also
You just said something like, for example, rather than say sweating, I'm kind of with Chef Miguel about that, Mallory. What if you said you know, aromatic asparagus, sweet onion in an elegant smooth velouté or something like that. Velouté is kind of a pretty note word. Smooth is a nice word. Elegant, you know, you don't have to say too many flowery words, but we try to sometimes get away from technical sounding words like sweating and, you know, chopped and things like that.
Okay.
Zucchini flower soup, a mixture of zucchini and its flowers combined with a mirepoix and some homemade gemelli pasta. Be careful on the flower soup because that's only in season when the zucchinis are coming up, popping up. I think the spring and fall and summertime, not so much in the fall. That's where you're going to get the better flavors of the flower. And the flowers by themselves, and it costs a pretty penny. So be careful on that one. Maybe use seasonal fresh seasonal zucchini soup, and then in the description use the word zucchini flower to describe: is it garnish, is it fried, toasted, to add it on the menu. Because if you have zucchini flower soup year round, or maybe in the fall, you might not be able to get that flower later on the road. It's going to be expensive to get too. It only comes in a very limited season time. Okay.
You could put it in there. You could put the soup in there and make that, say any beautiful, nice description you want to write, and then simply say, you know, baby flowers when baby squash flowers when available or when seasonal or something like that, so that they know that you're going to use them whenever you can.
Okay.
And I don't know what gemelli is, so tell me what that is, Mallory, just to help me. What kind of gemelli?
I just saw it. It's like a tightly wrapped, almost like corkscrew type pasta.
Kind of like a fusilli or a rotini or something like that. Okay, got it. Yeah. They got about 50,000 styles of pasta, so yeah.
I know here in the States, we tend to bastardize it, you know, like multi-pasta is not the actual name, it's farfalle, you know, so yeah. Good at using the traditional wording on the pasta to describe it. Next one, Parmesan gnocchi, fresh made gnocchi with a light Parmesan sauce over top it. So careful on top it at the end. So fresh homemade gnocchi with the light Parmesan cream sauce or tossed in Parmesan cheese. Okay.
You could just say in a light Parmesan cheese sauce and lose the over the top and all the other stuff too.
Okay.
Or carbonara, even better. Parmesan cheese, eggs, and it's not heavily creamy because potato is heavy as a starch. It's a complex carbohydrate. With
I'm assuming it is a potato gnocchi because there could be different kinds, but you have a potato one in mind here? Mm-hmm. Okay, and do you think there would be an herb in this dish?
I'd probably put, trying to think, probably parsley on top of it. I feel like that would be okay with.
I think you're right. You could put it inside the noodle itself or toss it when you're finishing, so it kind of heats it and causes that beautiful aroma and that nice bright green and stuff. And I'm just saying that if it is there, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if it is there, it'll make the dish sound nicer. If you can paint the picture in somebody's head that, oh, look at that beautiful pastel potato, that creamy cheese color, man, it's kind of buttery, and now I can see that green in my mind's eye, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, just I'm only trying to say, think along those lines. Think like, say pretend you're on a game show and the big shot said, okay, Mallory, you're going to win X dollars if you can make the audience want your dish when you get done describing it. And the audience also has the opportunity to vote you down if they think your description is over the top or too cheesy or something like that. So your whole challenge is to make it sound awesome and never make it sound too much, like you're trying too hard. Does that help with the mentality of it?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure how we wanted to describe the dishes. I mean, because I didn't know if we wanted it, how much description or how little. So that makes sense now.
That's for sure up to the cook or the chef and food and beverage together. You can say very few words. Some fancy places like to do that. They'll say, for instance, they'll say spring lamb, roasted spring lamb, comma, rosemary jus, comma, pommes natures. Bang. If you know a little French and a little cooking, you'll know exactly what they're saying. There's only about 6 words in the whole damn thing, right? Some customers that don't eat a place like that might come along and look at that menu and say, huh? What's that? and then you'll see some places where they write a 40-word description, which I'm almost never in favor of. So it's up to the cook, but you're just trying to sound smart. You're trying to sound like your food is passionate cooking, and it's got to say just enough words to let them know what the food would be if they should order it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orchetti with broccoli, homemade orchettis with garlic chili sauce drizzled over the fresh broccoli.
Yeah. It's supposed to be over fresh broccoli and then the pasta. I just didn't get to type it out.
Okay. You want to go a little upscale in that and charge a little more money, you can use broccolini instead.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I see. So there's supposed to be a space between the gnocchi description and the orchetti, right?
Yes.
And, so homemade orchetti with garlic chili sauce over fresh broccoli. That sounds kind of nice.
Yeah.
Isn't there a broccoli's darn near an Italian word, right? I'm trying to find a way to maybe it's orecchiette e broccolini or something like that. Maybe there's a way to make it just the whole thing sound Italian from the start.
Yeah, more regional. Okay.
It sounds nice, and I think it's simple and good.
Not bad, guys. Not bad. Any thoughts so far? Your practice menus.
It was harder than it looked.
It just practice.
I
don't think I put too much description on mine. It's barbecue, straightforward.
Yeah, and you don't have to. Like I said, some fancy places do that. They use only enough words, Daniel, to let people know what the main things are when they put it together, and they let the imagination do the work, right?
So on the menus, remember how we're talking about how to use the fonts and wording? This is an older menu that I had from the wine dinner, and I can take a look at the descriptions, right? They're the wording in itself, it just it makes me a little bit to squint. It kind of gives me a hard time looking at it, right? This is, I think May, what is it? May 8th, right around Mother's Day. So the wording in it, the font, the colors, it was too much. So from that, we went to the menu that I showed you guys at the beginning with the wines attached to it. It was smaller, more compact, straightforward, easy to read, and friendly. So when you're choosing a menu that, for your project, utilize a font and a type of letter that is going to be user-friendly to read and for your customers, okay? Now looking at this like, nah, it's too much, okay? Anyways, good project, good homework, good thoughts, good menus, good practice, right? Now you know kind of what we're looking forward for your final project when you start creating menus. This should give you somewhat of an idea how to word them, how to utilize your tech savvy smartness and arrange the menus, price them out, and how to use keywords to describe the items on the menu. So good practice, guys. What do you guys think so far?
I need you to send me that description for your Veracruz I ate the other day.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear that.
You're breaking up.
Yeah.
Whatever was that question, I did not hear one word. I just heard that.
For me, I'm okay with it. I'm just having a really hard time with the menu descriptions. That's my hardest thing, is describing my food.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can tell what's in it, but I just can't really use words to describe it.
Sure. Let me give you a few ideas. Think of something that you like a lot. I mean, just tell me something right now that you love. Some food you love.
Gumbo.
Gumbo. Okay, what do you like about gumbo?
Chocolate. I don't like gumbo good. You could do it plenty of ways, but it's spicy. It's flavorful. Seafood in there. Oh man, it's good.
Well, so Tia, I'm trying to say, what is something you love about gumbo that if I had no idea and you said I love gumbo and I said, what the hell is that? And you'd say, oh man, chef, it's blah, blah, blah. What would you say? Did I lose you?
I got kicked out. Back in.
Yeah, I can't hear what you're saying. I'm hearing about 10% of what you're saying.
Yeah, kind of a bad connection. Keep on breaking out.
Yeah. So,
Chef, when
Yeah.
I got booted out, it said that someone might be trying to steal information from a Escoffier or something of that nature, and so it like kicked me out.
wow.
Wow.
Could be somebody mess with your Wi-Fi at the house or somebody like next door trying to get on your Wi-Fi signal or something. I don't know. I got no idea what to do with that.
Hey, I don't know.
Well, it's something for us to report tomorrow morning to the tech people. Just say, hey, that one of our students experienced this last night.
Right. So
All I really say to do with it.
good practice, right, guys? I mean, this kind of gives you an idea how to word your menus, how to go about it, use key descriptive words. If you want to use what you have already for your final project, expand on it, by all means, go for it, okay? You already have a base structure. If you want to use that one, go ahead and build upon it. If you want to recreate a new one, it's up to you, okay? All I can tell you for your final project is going to be the hardest part is not so much the menu. The most challenging part is going to be costing your menu out, okay? But again, you have great, awesome tools. You have the two inventory sheet that's going to give you a lot of help figuring out the pricing of your menu. But that's going to be the most challenging time, okay?
I feel that this was a great exercise, Chef, but the thing is I think that I kind of got just caught up in trying to describe, I really wanted to focus on that, describing the menu, like the food.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I got caught up with the fresh and the freshly made and all that. Like,
Sure. That's totally normal, James. No kidding here. 1981, we were writing menus for a fancy little bistro in North Central San Antonio.
That was Daniel, chef, not me.
Huh? Oh. Sorry, Daniel.
Daddy.
So we're writing these menus, and after we write and we leave it alone, and somebody else, we come back to look, or somebody else kind of reads it one more time anew or whatever, and we realize, oh, we said fresh twice. We don't want to sound like, well, and somebody said, well, our food is fresh. Why we got to say fresh all the time? As if when we say fresh, like, oh, a lot of stuff around here has been dried or frozen or beat to a pulp or smoked or this or that. But in this case, it happens to be fresh. So if you say fresh too much, it sounds kind of like you're being defensive or something.
Right.
Plus just one word appearing too many times. So that's just the little stuff you learn when you start getting around this language. A lot of times you start realizing, oh, there's a pattern that I keep using that I don't like. Or with any luck, you got a teacher or a classmate or a friend that says, man, why do you say that word all the time, And so little by little, you just get more refined about it. Your first menu you write, you won't think it, you might think it's great, but a week later you look at it and say, oh man, I can do better, right?
Yeah.
When you get the mentality for describing it to be beautiful, having the language be simple, and using words that sound great, and also not sounding too technical about it, right? So that I've read menus and looked at menus where people are saying, peach cream reduction and brunoise mirepoix nage and things that are like, well, a little bit of that's cool. Too much, you might start overwhelming your customer too. It just wants to sound beautiful, passionate, not too technical, pronounceable, and not too wordy. Boom, done.
Got you, Chef.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, Chef.
It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy.
Because I think my struggle was trying to be descriptive, but also making it enticing. Because I want you to want to purchase it. So that was difficult.
You're exactly right there. If look, here's the thing. If you know it's tough, if you know it's hard to do, then you're deep in the struggle and you're going to win. If you don't even know that it's hard to do, you haven't even examined it and you haven't even listened to how you sound when you write, and you are without your first clue yet. Do I make sense?
Yes, Chef.
If you know it's a pain in the ass to write good menus, you're probably about to write a pretty good menu. If you don't know it's a pain in the ass, you have not really begun to fight yet. It's a weird game. It sounds weird, but it's true.
Yeah, so if you're having a hard time with descriptive words, you can go on online and take a look at some menus around some businesses around you and see what they're doing.
Try that, Chef. Doesn't work. They were basic. I made sure that I went to the restaurants that I love, and I looked at them. I was like, okay, so I need inspiration. I know what I have, but I need inspiration. And they were basic. Like, there were no enticing words. I literally was like, why do I even order off this menu?
So you need to change up your Google search. You look for like chef. You put chef-driven restaurant, passionate cuisine, or phrases like that in your Google search bar. Right now you're Googling menus and you're getting Grandies, and I'm not saying that's where you eat, but just the bulk of stuff out on the internet is all that kind of middle of the road stuff, that chain restaurant stuff that kind of not risky, not a high wire act for the chef, not super beautiful for the customers, just kind of plain restaurant food. But you're suffering the problem. All you guys are suffering this. You're suffering the problem of, well, I used to like food and I still do, but now I've been to school and most of what I look at and most of what I hear starts to sound like baloney because I get some school background informing how I think now. Right? So it kind of forces you into a different world. You have to dig out the restaurant menus that sound more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's another one for you guys, okay? Where is it? If I can change right here, okay? So this is the Valentine's Day menu, okay? And again, Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday to be creative with a menu because I can be as descriptive and as use a lot of words to have my customers almost salivate at reading the menu before they even order the food, okay? Because sometimes—
Go ahead and put it up, Chef.
Anyone?
Or did you? You got it up already?
Right. So this is Valentine's Day, February 13 and 14. We ran the whole weekend of 2010. Okay. And again, I should have used a different kind of font, but this was the menu that created it. When I passed it on to the marketing and sales, they rearranged it and made it better with more colors, more fonts, better user-friendly to read. So the first one I got, fried oysters cocktail, Cajun breaded fried oysters paired with a smoked Roma cocktail sauce and lime.
I like the sound of that.
Next one, duck pot stickers. Tender duck confit wrapped in a wonton skin, orange zest, scallion wasabi coulis.
Quick question, Chef, totally off topic. When we get back in the kitchen, are we gonna learn how to make a confit?
Yes, in regional
Okay,
cuisine.
great.
Yeah.
In regional, yeah.
And usually it depends on the class. It depends on the product, and it depends if we have time. Some instructors will push you to make the cassoulet with duck confit. Okay. So duck pot stickers, again, guys, if I were you to take notes, tender duck confit wrapped in the wonton skin, orange zest, scallion wasabi. Third one down, wild mushroom smokestack, smoked portobello, batons stacked and filled with sauteed wild mushrooms, served with a tangy ranchero sauce. Okay. Salad, English cucumber embracing fresh baby greens, embracing fresh, crisp julienne vegetables, crisp julienne, toffee pecans, ripe grape tomatoes, served with huckleberry vinaigrette. Huckleberries are expensive. Buffalo mozzarella capri salad, heirloom tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella cheese, baby spinach, toasted walnuts and balsamic glaze. Intermezzo, macerated strawberries, shortcake in sabayon bites. Okay. The entree, blackberry teriyaki marinated duck. Interesting. Marinated duck breast with confit leg on tomato and pepper couscous with baby vegetables finished with a blackberry reduction. Okay. Petit beef tenderloin, petite, and jumbo shrimp. Lump crab meat, stuffed jumbo shrimp. Certified Angus beef tenderloin and cast iron seared on Finger Lane O'Brien potatoes with baby vegetables and Cabernet demi-glace. Potato encrusted halibut. Yukon potato wrapped in pan-seared Alaskan halibut on spinach, infused jasmine rice with baby vegetables topped with a grape and yellow pear tomato slaw. Dessert. Okay, this is the fun part. Remember when I said I like to play with my the food? Okay. Juliet's Weakness chocolate decadent tower. Right wording, descriptive. Layers of chocolate ganache, almond cakes accented with brandied cherries. Okay. The next one, creme brulee, Cupid's creme brulee. Okay. Cupid's creme brulee, vanilla bean creme brulee. Okay. What do you guys think about the descriptive items on this menu?
That's the menu that Mallory, that's the menu that Mercedes couldn't find a while ago. Am I right?
Right. Everything was basic.
Right. So
But no, this is great. I'm hungry.
So
Nice
we're not using a lot of descriptive terminology to describe the menu, right? We're not using delicious, decadent, exotic, so forth, so on. It's plain and forward, but yet it attracts your attention. And again, the reason that I like to play with Valentine's menu and go all out and be descriptive, be creative as much as you can, because Valentine's Day is once a year holiday, okay? But also Valentine's Day, when you go out on a date, you don't want to sit there and eat a 14-ounce New York strip steak, loaded baked potato, and some 8-ounce side of veggies. So by the time you're done with dinner, you don't want no dessert, you don't want no more drinks. You're out of energy. Tryptophan is about to kick in. You want to go to take a nap and go to sleep. You ain't got no energy to go hit the clubs after Wilds and go dancing and, you know, take a walk on the beach or whatever, right? You want to go to bed. So the whole entire concept of this menu, if you guys are not getting it, is to be petite, small, exotic, something that they never get, something that is not regular common or the run-of-the-mill at a regular restaurant, something that is very different. And bottom line, if you take a look at Valentine's Day, you know, and I do apologize for using this terminology, it's an aphrodisiac menu, right?
Yep.
You got oysters, you got duck, you got wild mushroom steak. You got 3 items at the beginning. You got one that is seafood, one that is game meat, and one's the vegetarian. Minus the, you know. And the same thing with the salads. And the entrees, you got choices. You got duck, you got shrimp and beef, and you got halibut.
Yeah.
So take a look at the descriptions. And this is, again, when you come up with this, it takes you don't have to go look at thesaurus and all these things. Be very specific. Describe your menu to the point. Very straightforward, and utilize keywords that you know are going to describe your menu, how you're making it, how they're made, and what's in them. Right?
Yep. Nice menu.
I'm hungry now.
I can tell you guys what, those oysters, they were off the hook. And I know, Miss Kaylin, you had one of your items was a wonton, right?
Yeah, the dirty rice wontons.
Dirty rice wonton. You could even use the same concept here, wrapped in a wonton skin, right? So there's a lot here for you guys to get from, and maybe apply to your items, and maybe go from there. Okay. Like I said, I love Valentine's menu because I can go crazy and play with it and be extra creative with it. Plus, we have the budget, the money in the budget. All righty, let's talk about menu psychology. We just went over it, pretty extensive, right? The last, what is it, hour and a half, okay? How to create a menu, how to entice your customers, how to make it sound like it's fresh, how to use keywords, how to use the font to your advantage, how to maybe capitalize each letter of the word of the menu, and where to put the price according to the psychology of it. So again, it all ties in to the psychology, okay? It's not always easy to trying to read a menu while hungry like a wolf, right? And again, woozy from an aperitif and exchanging pleasantries with a dining partner, the eyes flit about it like a pinball, pinning between set of meal options, side dishes, and today's specials. Do you want comforting treats or something healthy? What is cheap? Will end up bitterly conveying my companion's dinner. Is it immoral to fuss over such petty first world dilemmas? God, where's the waiter coming over, right? A lot of things go to your mind when you're sitting there for the menu and your food to come up, right?
Yes, yeah.
Why is it so hard to decide what to have? New research from Burnford University shows that most menus crowbar in far more dishes than people want to choose from. We went through several menu samples yesterday. We talked about the Cheesecake Factory, Ms. Mercedes. You went online today trying to take a look at some menus, right? And you probably came across some of these items like, I'm not hungry no more. Why am I looking at this? It's kind of disappointing, isn't it? Yeah, that's like, I don't want to eat here.
It really was. Really was.
Yeah, I don't want to eat here no more. And when it comes to choosing food and drink, as an influential physicist by the name of Howard Moskowitz once said, the mind knows not what the tongue wants. True or false, guys?
True.
True, right? Malcolm Gladwell cites an interesting nugget from his work at Nescafe. When asked what kind of coffee they like, most Americans will say dark, rich, hearty roast. But actually only 25 to 27% want that. Most prefer weak, milky coffee. Judgment is clouded by aspirations, peer pressure, and marketing messages. The burden choice. Perhaps this is part of the joy of tasting or a set menu. The removal of responsibility and maybe the recent trend for tapas-style sharing plates has been popular because it relieves the decision-making pressure of all your eggs that are not in one basket. Is there a perfect amount of choice? Probably not. Tapas, when you guys go to regional, you guys were making tapas on the base of Spanish cuisine. Yeah. Bournemouth University's new study has sought to answer this very question. When we're trying to establish the ideal number of starters, mains, and puddings on the menu, says Professor John Edwards, the study findings show that the restaurant customers across all ages and genders do have an optimum number of menu items, below which they feel there's too little choice, and above which all becomes disconcerting. In fast food joints, people wanted 6 items per category: starters, chicken dishes, fish, vegan and pasta dishes, grills and classic meat dishes, steaks and burgers, desserts, while the fine dining establishments preferred 7 starters and desserts and 10 main courses. Thank you very much. So think about it. Fast foods, people only wanted 6 items per category. Your menu is 5 per category. Coincidence? I don't know, right? Befuddling menu design doesn't help. A few years back, the author William Poundstone rather brilliantly noted the menu from Balthazar in New York prior to reveal the marketing bells and whistles it uses to hurt customers into parting with the maximum amount of cash. Professor Brian Winsking, author of the Slim by Design, Mindless Eating Solutions to Everyday Life, has extensively researched menu psychology, or as he puts it, menu engineering. What ends up initially catching the eye, he says, has an unfair advantage over anything a person sees later on. There is a debate how people's eyes naturally travel around the menus. But Winsky reckons we generally scan the menu in a Z-shaped fashion, starting at the top left, I do that, hand corner, whatever the pattern though, there's easily interrupted items placing in boxes. Okay, next to pictures or icon bolded in a different color. Okay. The language of food. Oxford Experimental Psychology Charles Spence has an upcoming review paper on the effect the name of a dish has on diners. Given an ethnic label, he says, such as an Italian name, okay, and people will rate the food as much as more authentic and an evocative description. And people will make far more positive comments about the dish appeals and taste. A label directs the person's attention towards feature in the dish, and hence helps bring a certain flavor texture, he says. And that is true. When you really get a menu, if it has, like, I know you guys had Italian herb, breading, what else? Descriptive items in menus that had some regional or traditional or ethnic who's behind it, you're more apt to maybe buying the dish or catches your eye more than anything else. Just like we talk about grandma's baked apple pie. It catches your attention faster. Right? But are we seeing the backlash against the menu cliches, drizzle, homemade infuse that have risen from this thinking for some time now? At Fergus Henderson acclaimed restaurants in St. John, they have let the ingredients speak for themselves. In simple list, if you would eat one of Russell Norman's Polpo group of restaurants in London, you will see almost no adjectives or boxes and other flim-flam, as he calls it. And he's doing a roaring trade, particularly sympathetic to florid descriptions, he says. However, Norman's menu employs their own subtle techniques to reel in diners. Take this flagship restaurant, Polpo's menu. Venetian dishes are printed on Italian butcher's paper. Venetian dishes printed on Italian butcher's paper, which goes with the distressed, rough-hewn feel of the place. I don't use a huge amount of Italian. Don't use a huge amount of Italian, he says, but occasionally use it so the customers say, "What is that?" It picks on an easy-to-pronounce word like supply, rice balls, to start a conversation between dinner and waiter. Okay, and I've done that before too. We had a Philly cheesesteak sandwiches at a restaurant I used to work in, and we used to buy the newsprint wax paper, square ones, to wrap the Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Why? Because we wanted to make that connection of the New York Times newspaper in New York, the subway, Philly, and to wrap the Philly cheesesteak, giving it that feel, that Philadelphia feel. Sound and atmosphere. Research has shown that classical music increases sales of expensive wines and overall spending in posh eateries, while French and German music increases sales of French and German wines, respectively. That is in the way that this influences. Slow music and scent of lavender makes people spend longer in restaurants, and pop music at 70, 90 dB will up the consumption of soft drinks. And less surprising perhaps, 97 networks found that diners ate more at breakfast buffet if the room is smell of grilled bacon, and less with the odor of boiled cabbage and wafting around. Remember the video we watched last couple of days for homework on the what tricks restaurants use to make you spend more money? And what was one of those tricks that they do?
They used up-tempo music during lunch so people would get in and out faster. And then low-key music in dining and fine dining so that people would stay longer and spend more.
They even mess with the temperature, Mercedes. Some of those fast food places, when they're trying to get you to get in and get out, they run the AC really cold so that about the time you finish your gut buster hamburger and wash it down with a 32-ounce Coke, and that cold soda hits your tummy and starts to cool your body down. Right around this time, a little bit of meat sweats are coming out, and the AC hits you, and you're cold. You want the hell out of there. They know what they're doing. Yes, I'm not joking. That's what they do.
That's also lighting. They changed the lighting in the environment.
Ms. Hannah, you had a good description of the video on your homework. How did you put it? How did you phrase it when it came to the lighting part?
I don't remember, but with the lighting, I did think it was smart because whenever I go to like higher end restaurants, I like to enjoy, like, you know what I mean? Like you sit down, you kind of enjoy like with your family and stuff like that. Cause like whenever I go to like high end dinners, it's only with my family because I can't afford that. But like you want to enjoy and have a good time, and usually like when I'm there with my family, we end up spending a lot more money. So if we're there longer and the lights like dimmer, we have more conversations, and we end up staying there longer and spending more money essentially. So I think it's smarter for higher end places to be doing that as well.
Right, and you don't want, when you're trying to create a place where people would love to come for a romantic dinner or just a quiet dinner and say hi to your sweetheart after a week of not seeing each other very much and things like that, you don't want like fluorescent lights in there and a noisy place and stuff. You want something that's relaxing and calming. That's part of the reason why people might stick around a while, right? These things are really factors, guys. All the stuff we're touching on in this class, I'm really loving this because it's reminding me about a lot of stuff that I've seen in many classes, and there's a lot of restaurant expertise out there. If you read in classes like this and you read the books and read the better online stuff, that you can really teach yourself a lot about how smart restaurant operators think.
So a while ago, when the first, I was a young punk coming up in the ranks. Yeah, I was 18, a knucklehead running around the streets and working the kitchen. I got the chance to work at Sir Winston's restaurant aboard the Queen Mary. You guys can Google it. It's still, it might be closed now because of COVID, but it's still in business. Anyways, especially during the weekends at night for dinner, they had hired a violinist to come and play violin music to the dining room. The lights were dim. The atmosphere was comforting. It was relaxed. And the violinist will come around playing the violin, playing music for the customers. Of course, she will make, her tips because, people want to pay the money, but it was also, it was used for diners to kind of feel relaxed and not feel rushed out of the restaurant because they wanted to upsell the drinks, beverages, and also desserts. Back then we were selling that souffle, we'd make it 2-1 at $8.50 a pop. The cost of it is $1.25. Back then, in the mid 80s, $8.50 a pop, okay? So, and that takes about 14 minutes to come out of the oven to the table. So the violinist had a dual benefit, making them relax, making this, spend more money, upselling the drinks, and having them not to be so desperate for the dessert. Actually, having them wait a little bit longer. So move forward to back in 08, 09, and with the pictures that I show you and what we talked about. Here, the last paragraph says, in 97, Edwards found the diners ate more at breakfast buffet in the room, if the room smelled of grilled bacon, okay? And I remember when I talked about those brunches that I used to do, Mother Easter Day and Thanksgiving brunch, in the Schaefer's would drop cinnamon sticks, bay leaves, all cloves, and allspice, heat them up an hour beforehand, and then open them up 30 minutes, and then drop the food, so it'll fill up the ballroom with those nice, cinnamon, fall, Christmas-ish smells. There was a reason behind it that we used to do that for. Not just to have the customers relax, but the smell, sometimes it worked because when you walk in there and started smelling that smell, sometimes it had the reverse effect. Instead of making you hungry, it made you a little bit less hungry. So the food lasted a little bit longer when they're running out of food, because they were grabbing smaller portions. So psychology went a lot behind it on that aspect of using certain tricks to entice and have the people relax and not pile their foods with food, the plates of food, and run out the door. Okay, so it's a lot goes in it. Okay, is it all relative? Right. In this, in his menu, the construction exercise, Poundstone refers to the 70 pounds. The Balthasar seafood plate as a price anchor. By putting high-profile items next to the extremely expensive anchor, they seem cheap by comparison. So what a restaurant wants you to get is a $43 grand plate to the left of it. It's a similar story with wine. Invariably go for the second cheapest set menus or bundles. Meanwhile, it seems like a good value and therefore gives us an excuse to eat and spend more. Everyone's winner. Again, psychology. You're going to put that item that is more expensive, and you're going to be selling more because they don't want to spend too much money on that product, but they're going to go with the second one below it. Okay. Vast menus make me particularly nervous in, say, Gastro Sprubs, where they scream fresh from the deep freeze. Gastropubs. Why is that? Why is that, guys? Why gastropubs scream fresh from the deep freeze?
you say that question again, Chef?
Says gastropubs, they tend to scream fresh from the deep freeze.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
They cater mostly to just beers, drinks. So, I mean, food is not going to be their specialty. They'll just kind of serve you anything.
Bingo. What is that? How does that relate to the back of the house?
That thing's really fresh. Everything, like it says right here, is pre-made. So all they have to do is just warm it up and send it out to you.
Yeah, think of it, guys. In the gastropub, where is the main income coming from? What kind of sales? What's
Alcohol.
What? Alcohol. Bingo. So alcohol is the main bread and butter. You think they're going to spend money and time in the kitchen?
No, they're going to utilize that big fat deep fryer.
Right, like Mercedes said, right? Everything is going to be pre-made, pre-bought, frozen, and deep fried. Get in as fast as possible because they want to keep those customers drinking. The more they eat the fried, greasy, salty food, the more they're going to drink. So gastropubs, their kitchens are relatively small, really small, with limited amount of space because they want to make sure that they have fast flow of the product and keep those drinking customers thirsty by giving them deep fried, salty foods. So whenever you go to a gastropub, if you're looking at the menu, you betcha it's going to come from the deep freeze into the fry later. Okay. And Norman finds any mention of chef's special sauce off-putting, right? Something to ask. What the heck's a chef's special sauce? What dampens your appetite on menus, and how do you decide what to order? Okay. Gut instinct methodically weighed up pros and cons, eliminating items with unwanted ingredients, or do you always just get the burger? So what sets you guys off? Do you guys like to see on the menu chef's special sauce?
What's wrong with just hearing chef's special sauce, you guys?
You don't know what it is.
That could be anything.
Yeah, it's very vague, right? It sounds like the chef doesn't even know what. Maybe the chef, I mean, all this chef can come up with is special sauce. Does this chef even know what they're doing? Do they have a good bag of tricks? Do they know stuff? Or is it like some mayonnaise with half a bottle of
ketchup,
wishbone Italian dressing mixed into it and some crappy yellow chopped parsley and some garlic? What is that, right? What is it?
It seems like he might have just done it so he could just make up anything he wanted, or make, come off the top of his head and go, oh, this is today's chef's special.
You got a point there, chef. And in nice restaurants years ago, I saw one restaurant menu. I used to know this old Swiss guy named Fritz Loschel, and he was a super cook. He could still cook. He could still hang like a badass on the line when he was like in his 60s. But he was seriously a really well-trained European-style hotel and restaurant chef, and he owned his own place for quite a few years. And his menu at one point, he had a thing called Beef Tornado Chef's Mood, quote-unquote, quote marks, Chef's Mood. And what that meant was, well, what is Chef Loschel in the mood to cook tonight? It might have meant, what's he got in the fridge, or what didn't he cook recently that he loves, it's an old dish he loves and stuff. But it was always really, really good food in that place. But he had that little exclamation, not exclamation, he had a little thing in quotation marks, Beef Tornado Chef's Mood. So we knew it was a small cut of beef fillet or tenderloin. We knew it was going to be 2 on the plate. And after that, you're going to have to find out from the server. And the server would know exactly what the chef was going to put on it. And it was always going to be great. Chef's Mood, right? So I'm not saying that saying something that allows you to win decide each day is not a good thing, but I am saying that if you do that, you want to pay. It's one of those things that's got to be on your list every day. Like, what's the tapas tonight? What's the grill? What's the seafood grill tonight? Or what's the special tonight, right? So every day you pay careful attention and you put out something nice instead of just, yeah, it's special sauce. It almost sounds like a stupid wisecrack, right?
Yeah,
chef, it does.
What dampens my appetite on the menus is when I see the word what is it? Market price. Market price, or catch of the day.
Seafood.
Yeah, don't even put it there, right? Have the server sell it to you. Hey, by the way, today's, special is fresh, well-caught salmon or so forth and so on. Train your staff. Yeah, that fresh catch of the day and market price, like, nah.
It shouldn't really be on the menu. You just make your menu, and then on the whiteboard or blackboard or whatever you got, that's where you put that stuff, right, Chef? And,
Right.
and we used to have a manager at one restaurant that she was very artistically inclined, and she had a really kind of a smart marketing brain and was good with people and stuff. And so she'd come to the kitchen about 4:30 and want to know, okay, what you guys cooking for fish specials tonight? Back in those days, we call it fish special. Other places, they take the same idea, call it a catch, right? And then what's the other special tonight? Because there always had to be a beef special and all that stuff. And she'd find out your stuff and find out what your sauces were. And she'd ask your vegetables probably changing almost every day. So she'd ask you a few questions. She'd write all this stuff down. And she'd go out and roll out that big blackboard that was had a beautiful ancient wooden frame on it, kind of an antique looking thing. And she'd get out this fancy set of chalks. She had all these crazy colors. She must have had about 60, 70 colors in there. And she'd draw a fish, and she'd draw a chicken or a cow, and she'd, draw a chef, and she'd write all that stuff in there. And she'd take your menus, and this is where we learned to write menus. And she would ask you, why you want to say it like that? And this is where we learned how we kind of learned all the stuff I'm trying to tell you guys about how to write menu stuff. And you went out and looked at Denise's special board or her blackboard for the evening at 5 o'clock when she had it already. It was awesome. And the place sold a lot of specials. I mean, people were in the habit of walk up in that place and they'd come to the front door, be greeted by a smiling hostess. And the first thing they look over and they see that board and they say, we got the snapper with almonds tonight. We had that last week. It was great, or whatever. But they knew to look to that board, and the restaurant used it to drive sales. The restaurant crowd was not controlling the cooks. The cooks and chefs were controlling the restaurant crowd almost. We set them up for what we want them to eat, what we want them to pay for.
Yeah, so be careful. And then again, you got to sell the product. You stay away from market fresh or market price or catch of the day. Restaurateurs have been applying menu psychology for often and only for years and years. I just gave you kind of example from the 80s when I started. A more systematic approach can unlock significant value. Restaurant menu ideas are one thing, but proper design can shift attention, enhance taste expectations, and increase the perception of value. Before you design your restaurant menu, think about the underlying theory of the menu psychology, including consumer behavior, behavioral economics, and visual cues that impact your menu design. That's for you guys to think about your final project on the menu. Keep those in mind. So keep this 9 things in mind when it comes to restaurant and menu design psychology. First, attribute priming. Talking to people about a certain attribute of product can make them desire that attribute more. In other words, just think about something that make people want it. What this means is that marketers do not have to actively sell something to sell it. They just have to mention it. The simple act of thinking about something makes you more likely to want it. What deal will you prefer? Buy one, get one free, or buy two for the price of one? What would you guys do?
Let's see.
Isn't it the same?
I mean, they're literally the same thing, but buy two for the price of one just sounds better. Sounds like you're getting more.
Right. Yeah. Menu psychology, right? Buy one, get one free, or buy two for the price of one. It's the same thing. It's just how you word it and how you sell it. Decision paralysis, okay? Less is more. Giving consumers fewer options can increase sales. This also has known as analysis paralysis. The issue here is known as cognitive load, where too many choices results in an inability to make decisions. So giving people fewer choices makes it easy for them to make a decision like what to buy. And when it's easier to make a decision, people buy more. Remember we talked about the Cheesecake Factory, Story of Jesus Christ, Bible, the encyclopedia, 1,000 items on the menu. I'm like, I just go through maybe like not even half the book is like, all right, just give me this, whatever, right? So
Yep.
is massive, they're not gonna buy. It's too big. Okay. Default
Chef
buys.
Miguel?
Yes.
I was gonna say that that there's a couple of restaurants around here that do that. Like they have like a bunch of items on their list, and like there's this one Mexican restaurant that's across the street from me, and we go there occasionally, and it's got a long list. But the only thing I ever buy on it is the fajitas because I don't want to dig through the whole menu just to figure out what they have.
It's too much. It's overwhelming. It's like, but that time I'm losing my appetite, or I just want my food as soon as possible. So I ain't got enough time to read, 1,000 menu items. I want to be specific. I came here to eat. I'm hungry, and I want to order as soon as possible.
Exactly.
When people make a choice, they tend to favor the default options or the status quo rather than taking time to consider and adopt the alternative state. In other words, people tend to choose the path of least resistance. This may be due to a number of factors, including limited attention, the perception that default options imply recommendations, and recommendations imply popularity. Default biases are often blamed for undesirable outcomes, like Americans eating too many fries and drinking too much soda as a result of supersized meals from McDonald's. It's bracketing, right?
Yeah.
Dominant alternatives. When presented with options, a third decoy option can make people more likely to choose the seller's preferred option. With The Economist offered readers a choice between online subscription for $56 and a print subscription for $125, they found that most people prefer to buy the cheaper online version. This was the opposite of what The Economist marketing department wanted, so they changed the offer.
Well, that's natural though, Chef, because I mean, most of us, we work these 9-to-5 jobs, slaving our butt off to just barely make it check to check, and then so it's like, hey, do you want to have this option that's 125, or do you want this option that's 56? Of course, they're gonna pick a 56 because it's lighter on their wallet and allows them to have more money to take care of whatever else they have to take care of.
And again, the Economist wanted the opposite, so they have to change the offer. It makes sense. Framing effect. Whether we like it or not, marketing and psychology have been fast friends for a long time. So it's quite likely that pretty much any design has at least some elements that were chosen specifically to get you to feel a certain way of taking action. Call it what you will, subliminal messaging, the power of suggestion, manipulation, but businesses are constantly cooking up ways to influence your decision-making, restaurants included. In fact, the restaurant industry has its own special toolbox of psychological strategies called menu engineering. My favorite one is the Sullivan's Nod. Have you guys ever heard of that one before?
No. Well, we probably have. We just haven't.
Yes, you have.
What is it?
Sullivan's Nod. It's when you and your partner are sitting, or family are sitting at a table at a restaurant, and you guys are done eating your meal, and the server is scanning your table, and he's gonna make sure that the check average goes higher. He wants to sell you more stuff, but you might be at the point of I'm kind of full. I don't want no more. So
I think I'm done. Yeah.
He or she will come to your table and will grab either the menu or a tray of pre-plated desserts or the menu, and we'll open up the menu and say, tonight's we have cheesecake, we have chocolate cake. Would you like some cheesecake?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they bring the little plate of it already out there, so you can't say no.
Yeah, you were a waiter at some point, weren't you?
Yeah.
I was.
Cheesecake for you?
I use that trick a lot, and it increased my check average. So that is the Sullivan's Nod. Again, would you like some cheesecake? And you will respond, yes, I will. Right?
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Hey, is that the same as when they do like the specials on drinks, and they're like, hey, blah 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 blah. You're upselling and you say, hey, we have the new watermelon margarita, blah 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 blah. And somebody says, is it good? And you go like this and you go, yes, it is. It is. It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, from the server's perspective, I always took the most expensive thing in each section and made that my favorite and offered it to people.
Simple.
So, I mean, it's as simple as that.
You
And people
scammer.
would ask me,
What's your favorite?
How does this?
So you got
Ask me how.
$9.95, $12.95, $9.50, $95. What's your favorite? Oh,
I mean, I would tell people all the time, is that one good? Even though I love that one, no, I don't like that one. I like that one right there. That's what I would tell them. So
It's a market employee, and it's to get some little
it's
message.
not scamming, Mercedes.
Scammer.
Right? Yeah, and we have used that tactic too. This is my favorite, or this is the chef's favorite. You may not like it. The next one may be the one you like the best, but you want to increase the check average. You want to sell it because you want to make a better tip. So yes, Sullivan's not, or this is my favorite with Sullivan's not, and boom, you're going to sell it and raise the check average. Think about it next time you go to a restaurant when everything gets back somewhat normal. You're sitting at a restaurant and think about those little market employees that they have, the subliminal messages. Is the server going to come up to you, nodding his or her head about, yeah, you want some dessert? And you'll probably fall victim.
So the craziest thing I've like, and I fell for it. I fall for it anytime it looks good, right? But I've seen them bring out bring it out, like they have like a bunch of little not appetizers, but little desserts, all on a little tray, all nicely plated and everything. And they're like, hey, would you like to try one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, those look really good. Let me get that one, and that one. And then lo and behold, it's on the bill. I'm like, dang, man, I fell for it.
Yeah. That's kind of weird too, that they're bringing stuff out that may or may not get picked by somebody because, I mean, I guess if it doesn't go to the table, it can still go back. But, you know, now we know with Corona, we know that all our cooties are flying in the air all the time, right? This is why we have to be 6 feet apart and all this stuff is why businesses are closed down. So when you got a bunch of desserts going out in the dining room on a cart and then going back to the kitchen, that seems like a pretty scary prospect to me now these days.
I mean, I wouldn't do it all the time, but like if I had a really full section, I would randomly buy my tables of dessert, and as I'm taking them out, people would see them, and they'd be like, hey, what is that? Don't worry about it, I got you. Don't worry about it, I get one for you. And they'd end up paying for it. I want whatever it is that you brought out, or can I get one of those and one of those? Because I bring out a different one to each table.
Yes, visual stuff, Tia, yeah. So I know we're probably getting a little far down a rabbit hole, but I can tell you that I worked in a place where there was a couple of flaming dishes. You would send them out there on fire when they left the kitchen. It was a pretty silly trick, but it worked, right? So you had a grilled skewer full of meat kebab, like a kebab type thing with a fancy sword sticking through it, and some mushrooms and then some wild rice on the plate down below. And the plate was set up with a little special cup, and you'd have the little cup sitting on the plate. It was made to wooden tip over, and the sword would go right through the middle of the cup. And then they pour some 151 Bacardi in there and light it on fire right when they're going to the dining room. And the waiter goes out there, makes a show, taking it off the cart. It's still burning. He puts it on the table. It's still burning. He picks the skewer up with this little fancy brass handle and puts the meat over top of the burning 151 Bacardi to kind of toast it up and reheat it a little bit. Smells nice. At 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, if it's still light outside, it doesn't get noticed that much. At 8 o'clock, when it's dark outside and the lights are low, people can see it from 10 feet away. You might not sell one, but if you sell one when it starts to get dark, get ready because you can sell about 10 more right now. So there's absolutely marketing power or sales power in stuff that'll catch somebody's eye or catch somebody's nose or their ear. Like you guys all know about sizzling fajitas, right? It's pretty hard not to order that once in a while when it goes by your table. There's an awesome whole world of sales that some chefs don't get because they never worked in the dining room, and I think you guys should at least have the idea that world is there.
Even Mickey D's Whataburger, when you go out to drive-through, will there be anything else? Right? You want to supersize that? Right? they will ask a certain question because they want to sell it. They want to upsell the product.
I don't know. I don't like when they start with the "Would you like to try this?" Like I go there and I know what I want.
Yeah.
But you got to give them credit because they'll try.
Once in a while, they'll catch you. Okay, fine. I have eaten the same hamburger 65 times in a row. Okay, I'll try that crap. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe on the 100th time.
Right.
Menu engineers study the visual and verbal psychology behind why people order certain items and use that valuable information to design menus in a way that maximizes restaurant profits. Greg Rapp has been engineering menus for 30 years, and as we explore the 10 menu design techniques below, we'll draw some of the expert insights and insider tips about the subject. Okay, so let's take a look at menu design. They know the value of a strong first impression. And again, your menu is your first strong impression. Rather than reading the menu from the back, from front to the back, diners tend to scan them quickly, spending on average about just 109 seconds, according to a Gallup poll. This means that a menu has a small amount of time to make a big impact. Restaurants can make their menus easier to scan by using a clear section headings, easy to find dish titles, and other visual techniques, more than under point 3. Okay, so visual aspect. Okay, where do you go? Right here. Okay, all right. So art of the menu here design. Okay, menu engineers make a point of studying which parts of the menu are prime real estate, where people look for first in that short 109 seconds. As a result, which menu items tend to be the most profitable. The general conclusion, when scanning vertically arranged menus, customers tend to spend the most time looking at the first and last items. For the reason, dishes in those spots are usually the biggest sellers. Okay, let's take a look at this one right here. Right? Cool looking menu. All prices about the same. Cannelloni, $14.50. An egg noodles stuffed with beef, veal, and chicken, baked in a meat sauce and cream sauce. Gabriello ravioli, handmade noodles stuffed with a blend of fresh beef and veal, and prepared in a famous meat sauce. Okay, what kind of meat sauce? What is so famous about it? Manicotti Parmigiano, egg noodles stuffed with ricotta cheese, baking tomato sauce, and Parmigiano cheese. Okay, so different menus.
I like the simplicity of it.
Yeah, the simplicity was good. So they analyzed the reading patterns. Most research seemed to agree that when diners scan the menu, their eyes tend to gravitate first towards the upper right-hand corner of a menu, known in the industry as a sweet spot. Remember that. The right hand corner is called the sweet spot. As a result, many restaurants place the menu item they want to sell the most, often an expensive dish in that location. The menu below places high prices seafood on the upper right-hand corner, highlighting it on a tasteful illustration rather than a photograph. So again, take a look at the right-hand corner, or also known as a sweet spot. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in right here.
So they want to sell you a big plate of shellfish appetizers because they know that's going to move a couple of drinks too. And they got nice seafood, nice seafood main dishes right below it.
Lobster risotto, $14 to $20. Middle. Okay. And then the entrees, okay, the right side corner, sweet spot. Oysters, mouthpiece, West Coast, os du jour, shellfish. Okay. Not bad. $21, $26, $25. Sauteed halibut, sauteed skate, grilled brook trout, moules frites, grilled lamb T-bones, spaghetti carbonara, $18.
It's interesting. They got a lot of beef and stuff, but they're leading with seafood on the entrees there.
Yeah.
Seafood right up top.
You need to tell me why that chicken is $48, chef. What's so special about that chicken that makes it $48?
Which one?
The chicken.
Scroll down under the Platts bill of pool, whatever. Yeah, right there. You see that
It's a
chicken
whole
says
chicken.
$48. Why does it say, why is it $48?
Okay, so it's $48.
Because I can't read it. I can see like the bigger ones, but not the smaller words.
So it's $48, and you can imagine that 3 people or 4 people could probably have that chicken come to a table, and maybe the waiter carves it for them or breaks it up a little bit. So if you sell that chicken for $20 or $25, now you're telling 4 people they can come in your restaurant and they each spend about $6.25 a piece plus their appetizer. You're not a $15 person restaurant. You can't afford to sell it that cheap, right? It's the whole roast chicken would serve at least 2 people. If it was 2, you'd be getting $24 a person, and that's right in line with your other menu prices. Does it make sense to you?
It's a bundled marketing ploy.
Yeah, now I can see it because I couldn't see it at first. I had to zoom my screen in, but now I can see where it says for 2 because at first all I seen was roast free range chicken. I couldn't see anything else beneath that.
So a whole roasted free range chicken with garlic, mashed potatoes, seasonal veggies for $2, $48. Okay, it's a bundle item, right? Chicken is going to cost you between $7 to $10 for a whole chicken.
Maybe more than that, and probably at least 10 if it's really a free range, huh, Chef?
$10. So you're going to add a couple of veggies, some mashed potatoes, use them for 2. Maybe you're adding $4 on top of that, so you're looking at $14. What is your profit margin? Right? Where's your food cost? So 14 divided by 48, your food cost is darn low because chicken is not that expensive, even free range chicken.
It's a pretty good dish, but Chef, you're making 4 plates dirty with it. The waiter's got to carve it at the table. There's some labor dollars in it. So I just want to caution against sounding like it's some kind of ripoff. It's not. If I was operating today and I got the cool idea to do a whole roast free range chicken, I'd be trying to set it up in such a way as it was seen as a value to my customers, a table of 2 to 3 to 4 people. But I wouldn't want to give it away too cheap because you're shooting yourself in the foot, you know? It's a $40 a person place. And if you give that chicken away for $25 just because it comes to you at a low cost, you're forgetting about the service and the roasting and the dishwashing and the cleanup and the table setting and all that. So in other words, I'm defending the operator here and saying it's not too much money.
And the psychology behind it is when you can decide what to eat, hell, get the chicken for 2. Done deal, right?
I agree with that, Chef, because like it says underneath it, it's coming with the garlic mashed potatoes, the seasoned vegetables.
Yeah.
And if you break that down, you're getting, but even if you divide that by 2, you're getting it for like $24 a pop. So I mean, we naturally pay around that price anyway for a meal, or $18 roughly, give or take. And then that's not even including the alcohol that you usually drink when you're out with friends or family or whatever.
I think they're pretty well on target with that myself. And when you send out something like that, you know, it's really popular today that for a bunch of people sit down at a table and they eat in these places they call small plate menus, right?
Right.
So I get a small plate of this, you get a small plate of that, somebody else getting them. When they kind of pass food or pass plates around and share bites and stuff, you could kind of do that with that share in that chicken. Maybe 2 of them get the chicken together and somebody else gets a fish and somebody else gets a steak, and they just kind of cut stuff up and pass it around. My family and I did that when we went out so we can all taste everything. I think it's cool.
Like, the crazy thing is, though, I've been talking to Chef Gary and doing the food cost, though. The crazy thing is it's sickening how much we can charge in this industry for something like that. Because doing some quick math, that whole chicken on Chef Miguel's thing, after all of the pricing comes down to what you're actually paying for it, it's like $2 for that recipe. At like just including the chicken. Like you're only spending $2 on that chicken, and then you're charging
Wait,
48.
The chicken itself is probably 10.
Say what?
The chicken itself is probably the chicken itself. The whole raw chicken probably costs you 10, right, James?
Yeah. So, but like, and then $2 for the sides. Sorry, I didn't clarify that. It's like $2 or so for the sides after you put everything in there for both of them, and that's $12 that you're possibly spending exactly Mercedes profit. Like that's like it's still sickening and crazy how much we spend going out to eat.
Okay, I want to stop you there, and I appreciate the thought, James, but I got to tell you, that is easy math. It's 12. If we're right, and the cost is $12, $12 divided by 48 equals 0.25, right? 25% food cost. So we're saying, okay, $48 minus the 12 is you're making $36. Highway robbery, sickening how much we can charge. You are wrong. James, you are wrong.
But like you can buy all that at home and make that same thing for $12.
Then do it at home.
Hey, Chef, can I cut in real quick?
Yeah.
James, that's what you're paying for, though. You're paying for the ambiance to come in and sit down and not have to worry about doing all the cooking, what you're gonna season, what you're gonna do, and then after that, the cleanup and all that. You're paying for that, and that's why it's not highway robbery. It's you're paying for the luxury to sit down and just have a meal and walk away, and not have to deal with any kind of consequences of, oh man, I got to clean these dishes later, or oh man, I got to cook this.
Guys, I'm gonna make a little kind of a calabacita con elote probably tomorrow morning when I wake up. I got squash, peppers, bolanos, onions, garlic. I got some corn. I got some tomato and stuff. I'm gonna cook this stuff up, and it's gonna be really awesome. And at a restaurant, maybe with the chicken leg floating in it, calabaza con pollo, right? They would probably charge me $12. But I'm gonna do this at the house for really super cheap, and I'm gonna eat off it for 3 days. But that's at the house. When the world opens up again and I get to go to my little local, really nice little Tex-Mex place close by and sit down and let those guys serve me some chicken enchiladas and a couple of margaritas and blah, 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 buy a couple of those awesome Mexican pastries on the way out the door. And if it's two of us, we'll probably spend $40, $45. I mean, they're going to give us that meal for less than $8. Maybe they're going to spend 10 to give us that meal, but I'm going to be happy to pay it, like Danny's saying. And if I'm a restaurant operator, I deserve the $45 that I charge my customers for that meal. I'm not getting rich. I'm not ripping somebody off if I pay $10 for a chicken, add some ingredients, and charge $48. I am not getting rich, and I'm not ripping off. What am I paying for? Waiters, cooks, dishwashers, insurance, electricity, bonding, advertising, rent, ice machine, leasehold improvements, advertising dollars, building improvements, climate control, pest control. This is not a ripoff. Don't get me started.
I didn't think of it like that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not.
I was just thinking it's like food costs in general. I wasn't thinking like bills.
Right. So James, what I'm trying to say is to be a great restaurant operator, you got to be real in charge. One of my big mistakes as a restaurant operator was I thought I had to keep prices low and be competitive, right? My brother was looking at my prices. He said, competitive with who? And what I realized at that moment, nobody else was cooking like we were cooking in our neighborhood. I didn't have to be competitive with shit. And I could have been charging more than I was, right?
Guys, when you're pricing those menu items, remember, you're charging for what your hands can do and the knowledge that you have. Plus also, like Chef Gary said, the ambience, because that chicken for two was a whole chicken with side of mashed potatoes and some veggies, right? $48. Not a bad deal, right? Because close to campus, there's a little hole in the wall on Alden Road and 183, and it's called some Mexican chicken place. I forget what it's called, but they sell a whole chicken that is charcoal grill with a couple of those side of condiments, maybe a couple of those salsa, some refried beans, some charo beans, some fried rice. Something, I forget what it's called, Red Hill or something like that. It's a little hole in the wall next to a gas station. Yes, Spanish rice, beans, 2 salsas, and some corn tortillas, and they wrap it on butcher paper, and the price of that whole chicken is $20. And it's $20. Again, it is $20 for that chicken. And again, the chicken's probably going to cost them $7 to $10 because the equipment to go with it. Great food cost, but you're not paying $48 because you're not paying for the linen, you're not paying for the dish machine, you're not paying for anything else. Just your plain chicken in the bag to go. Bye, goodbye. Go have a picnic. So yeah, not a bad thing. $40. It's actually pretty cool because you take a look at the check average on the other items. They're between $20 and $23, $20 and $24. So not a bad price. Okay. Anywho, thank you for that illustration, Chef Gary. Just going and grab somebody by the neck. Instead of using the graphic illustration on the upper right-hand corner, this menu features large, bold typographic to draw your eyes right toward the sweet spot. And guess what? That dish, that steak and kidney pie, just happens to be one of the most expensive on the menu. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay.
Steak and kidney?
Dude.
Like a kidney? Like Hannibal Lecter?
No, we could buy pork kidneys, and I guess we could buy beef kidneys, Chef, but I'm not really familiar with them. Veal kidneys for sure.
Yep. Steak and kidney pie. Okay. What's the price on it? Let me go look at it. Okay. $26.
26.
Yeah. Steak and kidney pie.
Woo!
On the sweet.
It's starting to smell bad in here.
I'd like to try that. I'm all for it. Right?
More for you, Chef.
I love liver too. However, the sweet spot that does change slightly based on the layout of a given menu. 1, 2, or 3 panels. Okay. Like here, we got a sample, right? So menu configuration: 1 panel, 2 panels, 3 panel, book style, menu panel. Area most of attention, top of the page. Area least of attention, just below the bottom of the page. If your 1 panel menu cover displays menu items on both sides, the cover all entries should appear on the front side, or those on the back will not receive as much attention. Okay, so you can even box them. Okay, like this one. Oh, here we go. Here you go. Okay. Albacore tuna salad, $5.99. Chicken and avocado, $3.99. California Club, $5.99. Chicken and bacon, $5.39. Cheddar and tomato, $5.89. Crayfish and arugula, $4.99. Okay, so they're not badly priced. Easy to read, friendly. Okay, but no description. Okay. Next one up. Let me get zoom back in so I can read it. 3, emphasize certain main items, like how newspaper and magazines use a call-out, quotes to emphasize certain bits of information, menus, highlights, certain items that restaurants want you to order using what industry pros call eye magnets. An eye magnet is just what it sounds like, anything that attracts the eye. Okay. It could be a photo of the dish, a graphic illustration, a color or shaded box, a border, or some other attention getter. Okay. The menu below features decorative frames and pointing hand graphics to bring attention to certain menu items. These embellishments also give the menu a nostalgic, old-fashioned diner vibe. Like later, we'll take a closer look at how nostalgic can be a powerful emotion in terms of getting people to order certain dishes. Okay.
Hey, Chef, while we're on this subject of where we place stuff and everything, so I think by now probably everybody would agree that they can see the sense in putting the stuff you want to sell in a particular spot on the menu. And we even have that little chart showing a 1-page menu, you would put it here, 2-page menu, you'd put it there, and so forth, right? So we know that there's a best place for what we want to sell, right?
Uh-huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do you decide what you most want to sell? What are the things that you consider when you're trying to figure out what's the thing to sell most aggressively? Tia?
Your most costly item.
Sorry?
Most costly item is what I would assume.
Lowest
The
cost?
most cost, your most costly items, whatever it costs, it's the highest cost.
The highest price, maybe, yeah. Well, that'd be one way to look at it. Like if the highest price of my menu is $29, I'd like to sell that if I could. Is it also possible that, oh, Christian, go ahead.
Something that you can't keep on inventory very long.
Oh, something you want to really keep moving, right? Like the only way that you can really do okay on this is if you always bring them in, move them right out, sell them while they're fresh.
Chef,
Yes.
does this go back to the stuff that we were talking about on the cost sheet, where so to save money, like you could on your high dollar items, you could drop down the price to kind of make it where you could people want it more, but then you could make more profit off of like the mashed potatoes or whatever the side is, or a lower cost item. You could bring the price up just a little bit to charge a little bit more on it and make more money off of that instead of the higher price item.
Sometimes that happens, Daniel. Sometimes you'll have something that sells at 29, something that sells at 24, and the $24 one actually makes just as much money as the $29 one. And maybe it happens to be easier to produce or something like that. So there could be some, like, two reasons ganging up on you to get you to think, oh man, maybe that ought to be there, right?
Yes, Chef.
And also, have you guys thought about whatever kind of restaurant you have, you might have one or two dishes that seem most like the thing that restaurant should sell, right? So should the thing I push the most in a place called Billy Bob's Crab Shack, should that be a West Colorado pork Billy?
No, Chef. It should be like crab, seafood.
Right. If I got a fried seafood place, fried seafood and gumbo, maybe I got a really great way to fry catfish, a beautiful batter and a really nice sauce and stuff, and it's profitable, and we really set up to sell them easily. And also, if you're really, really busy, what's the thing you want to sell the most? Besides just the most profitable things, what else do you want to sell the most when you're really, really getting hammered?
Your appetizers.
Sorry?
Appetizers.
Well, whether it's
alcohol,
appetizers or mains or whatever, what do you really hope people are going to order when you're really getting hammered?
Your entrees.
The stuff you can do easily, right? Does that make sense? Right, so a really, really great dish, and Chef Miguel's got a great bunch of material coming as far as like stars and workhorses and the different kind of ways we look at what the dish's value is to our menu. But for sure, and that's going to be really a great conversation, but for sure, when you're really busy, it's awesome to sell things that you produce easily. Imagine
like a shrimp cocktail. It
makes some money, but it ties up one strong cook for 4 minutes every time the damn ticket comes in. And he's got 15 tickets hanging, and it's hard to keep quality and the speed up when it's too complex like that. If you got something that makes money and it's easy and it's slick and you're set up for it, wee doggy baby, you better sell that sucker. That better be a star on your menu. This is how you're riding the restaurant instead of the restaurant riding you.
Yes, Chef.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's take a 10-minute break. It is 8:25. Let's come back at 8:35. And if anybody, before you guys go on break, if anybody would like for me to share those menus that I just shared with you guys, let me know.
Yes, Chef.
Yeah.
The menus for Valentine's Day and the one dinner menus. If you guys want to take a look at the descriptive wordage I use on the Valentine's menu, you guys want to take a look at that and maybe have it, I'll send it to you in your this 10-minute break so you guys can get it through email.
Hey, Chef Tammy sent me something you guys in this class might be interested in before you go. She said that she had some extra time during this kind of, some things for her have slowed down because of coronavirus thing, and so she's trying some different kinds of cooking. And she said she cooks it. She tried some Wookiee today. She had her first bite. She cooked some Wookiee at the house.
like a Chewbacca.
Yeah. She didn't like it very much. It was a little chewy.
I was gonna say.
But
I'm gone before your throat shit at me.
Nice.
I was this close. I was unpressing the mute button to steal his joke.
You have to get 10 minutes break, come back, and I'm gonna start sending you this information. Okay?
I got a question, Chef.
Answer.
About like wholesale. About what can you get Lone Star for? Like I was doing research, I couldn't find it, and I didn't see it on your inventory.
Lone Star, if a Shiner box is going to cost you between 80 to 90 cents a can, Lone Star is going to cost you half the price, maybe like 50, 60 cents because it's not that expensive.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chef.
You can get a case of Lone Star for $21. We used to sell them at the restaurant that I just stopped working at. We used to sell them for $4.25 a can.
Okay. Well, I'm not selling the alcohol at my restaurant. It's just for recipes. That's why I was wondering about what you could get on at wholesale.
Yeah, Lone Star is you get it. I think it's like 21 cents I think it's like they're like $21.80. I can pull my old order sheets when I get a chance to go back up there to the restaurant, and I'll be able to answer that for you better.
Okay, thank you.
It's not expensive. They're real cost effective. That's why it's poor man's beer.
I mean, it's cheap and it's not bad for a cheap beer, you know.
No.
I don't like it.
Let me see if I can go ahead and start sending.
You're not texting Daniel.
I like my Budweiser.
Between Lone Star and Shiner Bock, those are the only two I drink.
Same, and I'd have Yingling if I could, but we don't have any Yingling here in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm more of a whiskey drinker.
Whiskey?
Whiskey, my best friend, Johnny.
Johnny Walker.
Yes, sir.
I had Basil Hayden a while ago. It's pretty good.
Or if I'm like being,
Yes, sir.